right. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's launch into map number 1. And up here in the top left-hand side in the pink, representing SCSwarm, the Zerg powerhouse team, renowned for their fierce timing attacks and super tight build orders. It is Crispy Bacon.
It's a nice way of saying they're cheesy. And in the bottom right, the Protoss, representing BornGosu, she is Saturday Cat. And we have a little bit of information on these players, actually. Apparently, Saturday Cat is a bit of a monster. She's not lost this season except for against, you guessed it, Crispy Bacon.
Oh my god.
This is a rematch of her the only time she has had her blood spilled in the CTL.
Ooh, so I love a good revenge match.
Can she avenge her defeat? This is good stuff. I love it.
That's going to be great, man. I get so excited when you get something like that. And that's what's so good. Like, that is the one thing I think a lot of us, miss about Pro League, and why a lot of us are excited that we've got not just the beautiful All in All League to keep up with the Korean scene. We've also got that Chinese team league, which they should schedule better so it's not on at the same time as I'm trying to watch you stream All in All League. That really annoyed me this week. I was hopping streams constantly. I was like, just no, stop overlapping.
Yeah. See, the thing is, people came to me and like, why is Illuma League clashing with the Chinese T League? And I'm like, mate, it's the other way around. Pretty sure Illuma League's been at the same exact same day for 3 years straight. So it's not Illuma League's fault. The Chinese team league's the new kid on the block, and they should look around. But whatever, it's whatever, man. Just gonna have to deal with it for the next 6 or 7 weeks, I guess. Or I don't. Hopefully they have other broadcast nights, because there are quite a few. Like, for instance, Illuma League had the best Protoss in the Illuma League this week was like Firestore.
Oh, really?
Because normally there's Zest and Trap and Hero and that sort of thing in there. But none of them were in there.
They were all playing the team league.
Team league. So,
damn.
So there were a lot of really good Terrans and Zergs, but for some reason the Protosses were in the team league. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. It's good to see, though, lots more matches, and getting the history between players is awesome. And we always talk about this is one of the most motivating things is when you get to lose a match and then you really want to prep to smash the person the next time. So curious to see what Saturday Cat has in store. He's going to do a full wall off here with his shield battery. Nice safe play, making sure that this ton of Zerglings coming across the map is not going to get in. So that's really good prep here by Saturday Cat, just making sure there is no weakness. Even a second shield battery, 100% safe, already at a 6 probe lead. Zerglings are going to come in now. They are kind of splitting up their attacks a little bit. I think with the Adept out, another Adept being chronoed, I think Saturday Cat is completely fine.
I mean, even the fact that there's like 10 more Lings on the way here for Crispy Bacon, very much committing to these Lings is like absolutely an overcommittal.
Oh my god.
Saturday Cat can also use the shield battery to start healing buildings if she really wants. She's got that second shield battery to actually heal up this shield battery to heal the other thing. Shield batteryception over here. 2 Adepts healing these Lings. Crispy Bacon needs to stop holding the Z key right the hell now.
It's just more Zerglings flooding across the map. Ling speed's done. Oh man, that's more shield batteries going down. Saturday Cat not underestimating this. A third Adept's about to pop out, and they're all rallied to the inside of the wall. It's these little details. Saturday Cat is not throwing any units away. This is actually a very, very clean defense so far. Now, don't get me wrong, Saturday Cat still cannot underestimate this.
Do start healing that structure, though. There we go.
Okay,
good stuff, Saturday Cat. I was a little worried there whether or not she knew that you could manually trigger that, but there we go.
I don't know if you know this. You see the Adept tucked just next to the shield battery and the Cyber Core, the top one. That Adept, she actually has the World Championship of Frisbee toss. 18 kills already in this game. Throwing those laser Frisbees. Unfortunately, Zerglings are just like Carbot Zerglings. Oh, no. Oh, the gateway. Oh, we need more healing. We need that healing. Saturday Cat's in trouble. Oh, she activates it, but that one's out of energy. Her Adepts are getting stuck behind each other.
Top shield battery.
Oh my god, she baits it. I swear she's like waiting for the last possible second. She's at double the worker count.
I'm pretty sure she's big brain gaming Crispy Bacon here.
Yeah.
I mean, the more Lings Crispy Bacon makes, the more likely Saturday Cat wins. In fact, it's looking really bad for Crispy Bacon at the moment. Just starts running now, but I mean, we got a Stargate finishing up. There are 5 shield batteries, Pig.
Yeah,
and they're just like this has been held.
They're just regenerating energy. There's such a bank there. I mean, there is still Zerglings on the way, and finally some droning starts up, and it looks like a drone is going to head over to take that third base for Crispy Bacon.
That's a supply block.
Gonna deny the scouting.
If
Oh,
she gets
yeah.
that's a supply block there for Crispy Bacon.
I mean, there's 6 adepts here now. Even if you get in, you're not going to be able to overwhelm those units. That gateway does look like it's going to go down. Crispy Bacon is just going to keep on hammering hard here, trying to get through. Goes for the surround, but that's a lot of shield batteries.
Yeah, that is, and then you just basically use the huge amount of minerals that Saturday Cat has going for herself because she just has such a great income to replenish that wall. And, yeah.
Yep.
It's about as good as it gets.
She's in a fantastic position here. Twilight Council behind this. There's an Oracle there. Now, the one advantage for Crispy Bacon is that because there's been such wild, non-stop aggression, Saturday Cat's kind of like, whoa, okay, let's sit in a really defensive stance. But I like that. The Oracle sees nothing and is like, let's go across the map. Meanwhile, at home, Spores are only just starting now. I mean, they should be ready, but Saturday Cat's got absolute control. Charge is going down behind this. A Robotics as well. And let's see.
I think it's pretty interesting to bring out, by the way, when an overcommittal goes wrong. We have a 150 resources lost, which was that one gateway for Saturday Cat, versus 1,987. 75 lings.
Oh my god.
That died for that one gateway. So that's quite the trade in the early stages of this game.
It's so funny because I think to the untrained eye, you look at that and you say, well, why do you keep attacking this wall? And I think you need to really have been on the Protoss side of this particular sort of Ling Flood to appreciate. Because I see a few people on that are like, why does he keep attacking? Like, what is Crispy Bacon doing there? Why does he get...
You know what?
The number of times you win with that, it works a lot. I know because I've lost to the 17th wave of Zerglings after stopping the first 16 waves in their tracks. Like, there is just a moment where it's the last possible thing you would expect. I feel like it's the one scenario in StarCraft 2 where because Protoss has so few units early on, just a little bit of cockiness, a little bit of like disrespecting it. Maybe you cancel a structure in your wall thinking the rush is done and another 40 Zerglings come in, you know, this sort of stuff. It's the one time World War I strats actually work, or it's like, let's just go over the top again. It's the last thing they'd expect. And it's like, no, it's a lot of GM players have lost to that many times.
Yeah, this is it's kind of, well, speaking of GM players that are, you know, you don't expect the third or fourth all in. Crispy Bacon is a potential no regret in the making, and while a lot of people like to meme on no regret for being cheesy and whatever, he is a 2-time Code S player and is well and truly like a mid to high GM on the Korean ladder. Like, he is a brilliant player that plays against pro players all the time. So the style does have merit.
As much as
it didn't work out for him in this game,
we tease no regret, but as much as we do, I think he is. In part, you know, he's part of Scarlett's team that helped her have that gigantic resurgence to the IM Pyeongchang victory, the top 8 in GSL right after that. Now here, though, is a moment where Saturday Cat's having a bit of trouble. Is so afraid of the Zerglings, is going to ferry units out one at a time. And this is a big waste of APM. I've been in this scenario where I'm so afraid. I think just killing that shield battery and opening your base up is the right call here, because it's going to take so much APM.
You still have 5 shield batteries to work with. Like, it's okay. That's plenty of shield batteries. But, you know, Saturday Cat is slowly but surely getting that superior army supply outside of that natural ready to fight. Is supply blocked at the moment. She's using that time to get 6 pylons out to fix that. There is a Hydra Den on the way for Crispy Bacon, and I got to say, if a good number of Hydras get out, like if it takes this long for Saturday Cat to get everything out and he has time to get a good army up, I could actually see this being held. Because the army here is like, it's got charge, it's going to have +1 attack, but there is creep spread for Crispy Bacon. If she attacks up that ramp to the high ground with like a lot of Zerg units, she could actually not actually, I mean, it's looking really good for her. This could actually go badly. I can imagine a world where it doesn't go that well.
I mean, if Crispy Bacon gets another minute, then yeah, if these Hydras get together, they get an upgrade or two, they hold in a choke point, the Zealots won't be able to find surface area, but right now that is just a butt ton. That's the technical measurement of how many Zealots that is. That's a butt ton of Zealots. They've got +1, they've got charge, and they are going to YOLO into the Zerg base, and you're going to have Hydras and Lings popping on top of them. Crispy Bacon, I think, needs to abandon this base. He's going to try to run for it, but a lot of Zerglings getting caught on the right flank. Already 13 drones going down. Now that's a good little angle. Going to take out these front Zealots. That's a good start to the defense for Bacon.
Certainly. But is getting up in the Zealot line. No, needs to stutter step a little bit. Oh, face tanking these Zealots. Definitely not what you want to do here, these Hydras, and it looks like they are going to go down. It's just way too much army left over here. The Hydras are picking off some of these gateway units. They're not all together. We see a lot of Zealots are attacking into the eggs here, which are about to be Lings and about to be dead Lings. But I like this Warp Prism from Saturday Cat, reinforcing this
Yeah.
attack and just keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, there's 8 gateways behind, there's tons of Zealots coming in, and Saturday Cat here with a fantastic hold, and it looks like we'll be starting off that series with a revenge win over Crispy Bacon here. Of course, Crispy Bacon taking down Saturday Cat in the regular season. Saturday Cat, she strikes back, smashes it. More Zealots in the main base as well. Crispy Bacon, I actually like the recovery on the macro. The fact that given another minute, Crispy Bacon would have been back in it. Not a bad recovery, but just too good a defense of the Ling Flood there. And we started off that series talking about those infamous SCSwarm players. I said they can be a tad aggressive. And as you said, that's a nice way of saying cheesy, right? Definitely starts off the series that way.
Well, it does mean that this series is going to be entertaining. I love seeing cheese versus macro players, like just one after another, seeing two different styles collide. I love seeing an aggressive player against a defensive macro player, like whenever like Showtime faces Dark or something like that, I'm always like, ooh. We're going to see a Zerg that's going to put his foot on the gas pedal and just ram his car and see if the wall can actually stop that car from breaking through. Exactly. Yeah, so that's really, really good stuff. Really well done by Saturday Cat. Shout out to my second favorite pet and my favorite day of the week combined into one name.
Hells yeah. Of course, a big shout out to what was I going to say? Big shout out to everybody for tuning in. For those of you who are new to watching the CTL, CTL is the Chobo Team League. And I actually forgot to turn that into a chat command. I don't have many mods on, but you know what? You guys keep spamming in chat whenever people are asking, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. CTL is the Chobo Team League. It's an amateur team league for players in Gold to Masters. Me and Maynarde are casting the Season 21 Grand Finals between BornGosu and SCSwarm. If you want to sign up for next season, there's a link in chat. So I'm going to just make sure I get that edit command, CTL. Let's see if that works. I don't know if that creates a new command or not. How do I create a command? Maybe, Helix can do it. Thank you. Helix has got it. The mods are on the case. Thank you, Helix. Awesome. So yeah, for those of you just tuning in, so we start always, game one is always the gold match. The next one is the platinum, and it's also divided by tiers as we go up. So there'll be like a diamond 2, 3, and then there'll be a diamond 1 match. We're not going to focus too much on the leagues of the players. Who cares? Just keep in mind as you're watching, we are going to be starting with players in gold league like that last one, and I believe the next one's plat. We're going to be kind of working our way up to that masters match which is a best of 3. So the other ones are all best of 1 until the final, the best of 3 ace match. And these are all cast off replays. If you guys want to join in the CTL, one of the great reasons to is that it is hosted at a time that works for you. You and your player get matched up each week, you contact each other, and you both kind of find a time. So a lot of people who play in this, these aren't hardcore pro gamers trying to go pro. These are people playing a game they're passionate about at a variety of skill levels. And yeah, it's just a great way to get involved with the community. A lot of people find they rank up and improve. Some people stay in the same rank and just love competing in it, and it just gives them a community, and it makes StarCraft so much more fun than playing on your own. So get involved, sign up on the links, find yourselves a team. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Maynard, I'll let you intro this player in the top left.
In the top left, this is Stormblessed, representing BornGosu, who are currently up in the series.
And down here in the bottom right, in the green, representing SCSwarm. Let's see what he can do. He is Thorn.
Apparently, Stormblessed didn't really debut until week 7, and unfortunately lost in that showing there in the 7th week. But is a repeat contender for SC2 Swarm or SC Swarm throughout the regular season. Hasn't had the best record, but looking to get himself to fight back and get a bit of a name himself here. Fighting back against the Plats in his area. I'm pretty excited to see that.
Yeah, we do see a few matches from Stormblessed there. So, because I'm just kind of getting used to looking at these tables of all these stats as well. We've got so many beautiful stats to look at other players, and I'm just kind of deciphering it. So It looks like Stormblessed. Wait, if it's red, is that a win or a lose? I'm trying to figure that one out.
Red usually means bad.
That usually does mean bad, doesn't it? Does that mean Stormblessed lost every game this season? I think I'm misreading that.
I think it said Stormblessed is 1 and 3.
1 and 3. Oh, okay.
So there must be a win on there somewhere, because otherwise it wouldn't be a 0 and 4. But Stormblessed is coming on in, and for starters in this game, something most important that Stormblessed has seen is that Thorn did go pool gas first. So this is why you SCV Scout as a Terran, because now he knows to get the CC on the high ground, which he does. Very nicely done by Stormblessed.
Yeah.
Oh, I think a bunker's an overcommittal.
Oh, yeah, bunker on the high ground. That's very, very safe, isn't it? Oh, hey, there's a roach roaring there.
Well, turns out it was a good read after all.
There's reading the scouting information, and then there's also attaching the clan tag of your opponent to that scouting information, I think, and saying, you know what, let's be a little bit extra safe.
I was about to say, this is SCSwarm, so perhaps a bunker on the high ground and CC on the high ground against a pull first isn't a tough call.
Yeah.
To be the case here.
That's such nice safe play. Bunker on the high ground, CC on the high grounds, Marines coming out factory. Just got to make sure you don't get too kind of cramped into your base. That's the decision making I struggle with whenever I'm trying to like balance between not overreacting. Let's see the flexibility of Thorn here, because Thorn has seen there's no CC on the low ground, but is still going to commit. So Thorn here, not really wanting to adapt on the fly, saying, look, we're going to go for the Roach push. But what I wonder is how long Thorn commits to it, because this could start to unfold like that previous match, where if we do just see these Gosu players kind of wall off solidly, pull out some really strong defenses, SCSwarm's going to need to adjust and be a bit more flexible. So we've got Ling Speed on the way. This looks like a really scary push. I imagine it's like you make 1 or 2 Ravages as you get the gas for it, and you just flood Zerglings. And what have we got? The tank hasn't started yet.
Yeah, looking sad here. Stormblast now has enough gas and minerals to get that tank. Plenty of supply to do so as well.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hello.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Oi,
hello.
get back here.
Grenades himself. Go for it right there. It's one of the cheapest rides you can get in StarCraft 2 is a KD8 grenade jump there. But the roaches are coming. Bunker is up on the high ground, but as you mentioned, the tank is a touch late, so it's not here and it's not firing. These SCVs have been pulled ahead of schedule to start repairing.
Ooh, that depot's getting dangerously low. The SCVs.
If he gets in, that's real bad.
Yeah, he needs that tank to siege. The tank's going to be stuck. The tank's rallied to the wrong side. It's stuck by the tech lab. It can't get back. It has to siege in the open. Thankfully, though, the SCV repair is good. The SCV repair is good for now, but that depot... Oh, there's no more SCVs.
If the roaches get on top of this depot, it's down.
Oh, but the SCV's getting some repair. They shoot the bunker. Oh no, they take out a Marine, but the tank has done it. The SCVs have repaired. Oh,
wow, this is hell.
My man.
Unbelievable.
That was so scary. The worst, that tech lab on that starport tried to like trap that siege tank. You could see it trying to get up there. It was like, I can't get further back. I want to siege back behind the bunker.
It was a rough winter.
Oh, man.
Wow, this is held, and Stormblessed with a natural base is looking. I mean, there is a natural base for the Zerg, but it's essentially a production facility. There's only 2 drones mining from it at the moment.
Yeah.
Thorn is thankfully droning now and going up into a lair, and that's one thing. Even at like I'm slightly higher level than these players, and even at my level, if I'm up against a cheesy Zerg, I know there's a lair coming. Yeah. Because they're not done. They're not going to switch into a macro game.
You're like, is it Nidusworm? Is it Mutalisks?
They just go, the higher you go up, the cheesy Zergs, you never stop playing against them, guys. They just get better at cheese. Instead of just having a plan A that they fail at, they have a plan A through X. And you're like, oh, I got to be ready for anything here. So I like this Banshee a lot from Stormblessed. Not only does it help with possible more roaches, it could also be used for scouting and harassment. But I would like for it to go across the map and do something here for Stormblessed.
Yeah. Of course, Thorn has been a repeat contender throughout the regular season. Unfortunately, 1-3 record, but, you know, so far, looking... I still like the decisiveness of the aggressive play. You know, you can look at this and say the attack was stopped in its tracks. It didn't really get the damage. But the thing is, just look at this command center. Stormblessed has got the fear deep in his soul right now. And these Marines accidentally coming out here. I don't think those Marines want to be out there. You need them to build a bunker in the low ground. So
I think that's an F2.
Yeah, Stormblessed a little bit panicked here, I think. And this is the real threat because you don't know what's coming next as the Terran. So I think Stormblessed really needs to get those Banshees across the map. They could do a run by, you know, get in, kill a few workers, and just see what's going on and confirm. Second lair starting up for Thorn. I think a little bit of a hotkey misclick there. But Roach speed is on the way. Lots of gases going down. I imagine it's going to be a gigantic Roach swell a few minutes down the line, swinging into the natural or the third base of Stormblessed. That definitely is what it looks like.
It certainly does. I mean, obviously, when you're in the BSG and Platinum sort of area of leagues, it's a little bit hard to know what's coming next. We're doing our best to analyze here, but there is also oh, this Banshee looks like it's going to stop at possible third base. Nicely done. Pew pew pew.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up against something like this, one of the biggest priorities as a Terran is to get your natural covered by a bunker and start walling in with depots. You can see the depots that
Yeah.
Stormblast is making in the main right now. Imagine if those 4 or 6 depots that he's got in the main, since walling off, were down here in the natural instead. He'd be completely safe against Lings.
Thankfully, there's only a few roaches in the Ling count. It's not quite brave enough to go in there, but definitely those tanks a little exposed. I mean, I got to say, though, that tank count, hot damn, man.
Double Banshee here.
Yeah, double Banshee's going to come forward. They can take one queen on, but of course, very afraid of friends coming up, dropping transfuses, and you don't want to lose those Banshees. Already denying the third is awesome. It is going to be a Hydralisk den for Thorn. So Thorn's kind of saying, okay, let's just go back to the Roach Hydra plan. Always a solid composition and quite well-rounded. Up to a certain point where it falls off. And right now, let's take a look at Storm's kind of production. It's 3 barracks. I don't know if Stim and Shields haven't started. That is a mistake. But 1-1's almost done. So I think as long as Stormblast just kind of remembers those upgrades and just really turtles for like 4 minutes, at like 130, 140 supply, Stormblast army is just suddenly going to ravage Thorns because it's going to have more upgrades, lots of tanks, which destroys Roach Hydra. Like, it is the perfect army for the situation. You've just got to make sure you don't get ambushed because it's so tank heavy.
Got Stormblast setting that her Banshee back. Ooh, does lose it though, and that one in the main needs to get the hell out of here or she's going to die for sure. Those 2 queens, more than enough to take this Banshee out, and they can even transfuse each other to top themselves off, and the Banshee does go down. Thorn even respecting it by getting an Overseer just in case Cloak was available. We're seeing an art like Stormblast is actually doing everything right now, like getting 1-1, getting an armory ready for 2-2, except for the fact that Stim and Combat Shield's never been started or had at this point. I mean, it's not the first time. If he does win this game, it's not going to be the first time I saw unupgraded Marines and tanks kill a Zerg player. But it is so much harder to have that. You lose a lot of micro ability, you lose a lot of DPS. So
it's like
it is extremely important.
Highest value upgrades in the game, right? Like there's Ling Speed, Stim, Zealot Charge. Like these are the upgrades that just turn basic units into actual good units for the entire game long. So still hasn't got those, and the tanks are in a clump. I was talking about as long as he stays spread out and sieged up, he'll be fine. But right now, Stormblast is like, cool, I'm in control of this game. And it's just kind of A-moved the army out. It's sieged 2 tanks. But right now, Thorn is just going to jump on it. Most of the tanks aren't sieged. Oh no, the Marines don't have Stim. The tank's all down in the open. And oh my god, that is a brutal engagement. Thankfully, the tank in the back does some big damage, but there's no tank on the high ground. If that tank goes down, Thorn finds an opening here. Stormblast just getting caught on the defensive a bit too much. Didn't have the setup with those siege tanks, and now the Roach Hydra getting some big damage done.
Absolutely, and the Lings on the river as well, and I love this from Thorn, just a huge committal, a big decisive play to just flood Lings as soon as the doors open, and I think that's the right call, honestly. Like, there's still some damage on these Zerg units, but so many SCVs are dying. There's that one tank on the high ground.
Oh, it's shooting the refinery! He changed targets! He accidentally attacked the refinery! It was doing so much damage before that!
Under so much pressure, so much stress here.
Stormblast had such good defense in the early game. That tank on the high ground, Thorn takes it out. This other tank falls back, sieges up. These SCVs and Marines look like they will finally defend, but 40 SCVs have gone down. More Lings rallying in the siege tank friendly fire, killing more of their own units here. And even though Stormblast holds on, it's 37 drones to 19. Thorn was so far behind in the economy, now is in a commanding position, has a 3rd and a 4th up, which can be droned in the near future, is even adding a carapace upgrade to this, and is in control of the game. Suddenly, Stormblast here, still no Stim or Shields, and losing that tank count that took so long to build up. This is a rough position for Stormblast.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, obviously, if we think about things that Stormblast can do to get back in this game, we keep harping on about it, don't want to keep going on about it, but Stim and Combat Shield's a great start. And just getting that tank count back up is just doesn't have the minerals at the moment and is mining too much gas to be able to afford all these production facilities to actually kick in for him at the moment, which is unfortunate. You know, you need to have good resource saturation here to be able to afford what is this? 5 factories, 5 barracks is a factory starport, and you can't get your upgrades at the same time. No way.
Oh, so queuing up a red hit point drop as well.
It's a little bit dangerous. And that tank on the low ground swarmed and killed here by those Lings. And I think the natural, honestly, the Zerg could attack into here with Lings, even though it's 1-1 bio and there are medevacs here. Attacking into it with Lings with those Hydras, I think, is the way to go.
The Lings going for the wraparound, but they're attacking the rocks! They were attacking the rocks for a second there. Thorn with an unfortunate misclick. missing out on a lot of damage there, and is starting to filter in. This tank on the high ground is so far back. It's actually, it's defending, but it's so far back. I like this evacuation of the SCVs. They've got to try to not take too much friendly fire. I mean, it is just a few Hydras. I think the SCVs could probably take that out, but you've got to actually turn and fight, and that has not happened. The drop on the other side of the map flew into the Queens and got shot down before it could unload, and it looks like too much chaos here. Thorn, with the Roach Hydra push, just jumps on top of the tanks, breaks through into the production. Stormblessed not able to get on top of all the little pieces there. You know, it's such a high-pressure match when you're in the season finals. You get one game, and one misstep can punish you so hard. Stormblessed with a fantastic opening defense, but not able to establish the third and defend it.
Yeah, GG there. Good manners from Stormblessed and well played to Thorn, putting him point on the board for SCSwarm. Going to get a 1-1 things to start things off with in this grand finale. And also, you guys out there know, like, Stormblessed was doing very, very well in that game, except for the big glaring mistakes, which was, you know, missing stim, missing combat shield. If you're a Terran and you're learning and you want to be able to bio-tank against a Zerg, the most important thing is to, first of all, knowing when the Zerg is attacking you. And if the Zerg is attacking you in a situation like Stormblessed was in with 3 bases like that, make sure you've got your bio in between the Zerg and your tanks, so the tanks are still doing that fire. I think that, honestly, if Stormblessed had those upgrades and the bio was in front of the tanks instead of behind the tanks, I think that engagement could have gone very, very differently.
Yeah, you know, the tanks just kind of, there was that moment where it was like, it was such methodical defense on the main. Moved to the natural, the tanks were spread flawlessly. And then moved to the third and just kind of moved in this ball between the natural and third. It's so funny because it's like watching a fighter who's got their guard up and they're really good defensively and they're ducking and weaving. And then at some moment they just get a little bit distracted and they drop their hands. And that's the moment when the big punch comes through and you're just like, oh, no.
Stormblessed was in a fighting arena and he was doing great, landing blows. And then some chick in the arena lifted up her top and showed off her tits and then he got distracted. And then there was just a haymaker from Thorn, and that was all over. Couldn't get his footing back, lost his posture, and he was down. Happens a lot, guys. Happens a lot.
Thank you so much, Z Blanc is Blanc with the resub. Thank you very much, mate. Fist up as well. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate the support there. Guys, we are going to be going into the next map here. The series is tied up 1-1. And let's go into year 0 up here in the top right-hand side. Looks like a fan of a young Italian. And himself also a Zerg player in the yellow representing SCSwarm. It is Aldrich Raynor.
Good. Aldrich Raynor. And Raynor, of course, a pretty good Zerg to have on your mantle when you're trying to learn the game. And the top left in the purple, looking very regal. This is BornGosu's Coke. I think Coek. Coke?
I say Coek, but I don't know.
I don't know.
This is one of those ones where you're like, oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Coek. And they're like, type in chat and they're like, you know, hyphenating it. Like, it's pronounced this and this. And you're kind of like, yeah, but I mean, shouldn't you have spelt it that way initially if you wanted it to be said that way? I feel like it's our creative property at this point. Like we just say some stuff and we see how it goes. Some people are saying Coek, some are saying Coke. Which one are we going to trust? We don't know. I'm going to go with Coek. You good with Coek?
Seems like chat's kind of split on the issue as well. I got some people saying it's Coek, idiot, and some people like it's Coke, like the drink, idiot. I'm like, oh my god.
Coek, he's in chat. He says, I've never done that before. He's like, I've never told you how to say my name. You just say it however you want. Don't worry. I don't care.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Well, I mean, Coek or Coke has been a member of BornGosu forever, apparently, according to our information sheet. So that's really excellent, and that makes sense. I've seen Coek before. Aldrich Raynor, similar to Stormblessed, actually, didn't debut until week 7, but won their match. So is looking to prove themselves, continuing to have that dominant record, and has had wins from players Lit from Team and taking solid wins from Lit and Team Unrivaled. All right, so that's where the blood's been drawn here.
Yeah.
Ooh, hello.
A couple of good ones. This proxy hatch has not been spotted. Coek's scouted and has been like, hey, there's something missing in there, buddy. Like, what's going on? And this probe's looking around, but... Oh, you're kidding me. Is that barely going to miss it? Okay, it barely gets the glimpse there. And let's go to Coek's camera. Sees it. Yep, immediately reacts. We're on Coek's camera. Let's watch the response here. Let's see. Tries to chrono, but doesn't actually have a Zealot queued up. Queues it up. Second pile's not done just yet. And you can see the camera movements. A little bit of panic. And rightfully so. The correct sort of panic. That's what you should be doing here. Starts in Adept now. It's going to be...
I like the Stargate.
A Stargate. Okay. I'm always a Robo-Man against this. I guess it gets complicated if Raynor or Aldrich starts building spores with this. We've already got a queen on the way, 3 spines, holy crud. So it's going to be a real battle of like, can you defend and get enough anti-air to overwhelm the queens? And
is
Link
this
Flood
actually a
behind it
Void Ray
as well.
situation versus an Oracle situation here?
Oh, man, I think
It's hard to
either
say.
can work. Yeah, I think some people like oracles because you can just like run in and zap them, whereas they can kind of evade your void rays a little bit. So especially you want to hide it either way though, right? So I think Koek wants shield batteries, wants to build more defense on the front, is probing up right now. And I think that's something where you've got to cut that out right now. Yeah. Shield batteries, more pylons, more gates, anything to hold on. And the one scary thing is it's just adepts. I think you want stalkers against this. A few adepts is good for the zerglings, but the problem is adepts can't fight Queen Spine. They do nothing to it. It's like throwing paper planes at your school teacher. It might annoy them. It's not actually going to injure them.
No, absolutely not. It's a really good analogy. But the thing for Koek in Koek's defense is that he doesn't know whether or not there's a Roach Warren or something back on Aldrich Raynor's side. Like it could be double gas Roach Warren or something, and I think maybe going for
Shizzle Fizz. Nice
Shizzle
Oracle. Nice Oracle
Yeah,
hold
wow.
position there. Oh, that Oracle getting the work done. One adept goes down, but the others are going to pull back. Actually, they pulled back too far. They pulled back too far. The Lings are in. The Oracle falls to the 2 queens. The probe's being forced off the line. And Koek here, I think, underestimating the power here of Raynor's Proxy Hatch, Zergling Spine Rush. Another adept does come out. A Void Ray is on the way. It's not enough, though.
This isn't a build I've seen Raynor do. Where did he get this one from? Aldrich Raynor has become the new version. This is extremely horrifying here. I mean, there is a Void Ray on the way, but it seems to be a little bit too late, a little bit too little too late. I mean, the Lings, there isn't a whole lot of a ground army here for the Zerg, and honestly, 1 or 2 Void Rays probably could hold this, but I'm worried about like if the Zerg just makes more Lings. Basically.
There's three queens, so like overpowering those with Void Rays, it's like one Void Ray beats a queen,
He's killing
but
his own Cybercore.
oh no, oh
That's
no.
yours,
Yeah, Koek, unfortunately, the Void Ray tries to fight 3 queens. That's not going to work. And there's just so much. The thing is, once your wall's down, like, where do you even set up your next wave of defense? I think you pull back to the main, but already losing a few of these units and taking a bit too long to get back there. Koek's gas count's down, the mineral count's low, is trying to chrono boost an Immortal out, but I think you've got to pull back to the main mineral line and just abandon this natural. And it is playable. Raynor, only on 15 drones. This is a huge commitment. It's a very cheesy build.
Yeah, this is extremely committed. It's about as all-in as all-in gets. I've seen some all-ins in my time, but this is even more all-in than those all-ins. Koek is up 10 workers, and you could be up 10 workers on one base and still make something happen, because the Zerg is on one base as well. Let's be real.
Oh, got to pull back to that mineral line, though. Can't just stand out in the open against speedlings. That's real risky here. Stalkers and Immortals not going to take them out too quickly. Koek, the worker line's being breached. Those Zerglings getting in there. Oh, man, and Aldrich goes for the throat, but doesn't actually finish off those probes. This is going to go for the Stalker surround.
Immortal surrounded.
Immortal on the south surrounded, Stalker on the north surrounded, an Oracle's out, but the probe line is falling, and I think that might just be too much. The Zerglings, once the wall is down, such a dangerous unit. You can see all the probes falling in the north. Beautiful play there. Very, very nicely done.
Wow, crazy all-in from Aldrich Raynor, getting it done there against BornGosu's Koek. Damn, dude. That was that. I mean, one of the hardest things when you're learning the game and you just like you're getting better and you're trying to improve and rank up. One of the hardest things is reading and responding to cheese correctly.
Yeah.
But it's also a great feeling though when you do start to handle it and you're like, oh, they're going for a proxy hatch. Sweet, I love free ladder points because you know what to do,
Shout out to Fatal Bunny. Some of you might remember as a Zerg streamer who actually invented a build almost identical to this back in Heart of the Swarm. Had an obscene win rate against top Zergs top Protoss on ladder. Despite, it being this wild, crazy build, he showed it to me, and that's the only time I've ever beat Showtime on LAN, guys. Took a map off him using that sort of cheese, pretty much the same thing. And it's so confusing the first time you see it because you think they're sieging your wall, so you try to kind of fight it, and then a billion Zerglings come in, and you're like, oh, the queens and the spines are just to break your wall, and then the flood gets in. So it's this weird mishmash of you want like stalkers and to like go out and stop those spines, but the Zerg wants you to come out and fight that. We saw the Lings, they just flood in. It's something where you need to just react crazy hard and like full wall and over respond. But I don't think anyone anyone survives that build the first time they see it. Like, it takes a few games against it before you go, oh, I know how destructive this is. I get it. Okay. Lots of practice before you can stop one that fierce.
Damn straight.
All right. Okay, so we've got the next game up here. That is, of course, now a 2-1 lead for SCSwarm. Let's go into the bottom right here of Port Alexander. Raise your boats in chat. Get them ready. In the bottom right, it is Hero Shrugs.
And in the top left, Mukauthon, a.k.a. McCawthon, representing BornGosu. And McCawthon is a name I recognize, is a veteran of the CTL, being a player for BornGosu for a very, very long time. This is the Diamond 3/2 slot. So obviously, the further we go through these replays, the higher level the game's going to be, as the CTL has different divisions for different levels. So any level of StarCraft player you are is welcome to play in the Team League. Please do check it out. I think it's turboteamleague.com. I tweeted it as well. Do get involved. One of the greatest things about a Team League is not only, like Pig mentioned when we talked about CTL before and why it's good, is not only does it help you, fighting for a team is really, really cool because it's like you're practicing in a not lonely environment, whereas ladder can be pretty lonely sometimes. But nothing is more motivating than having a team to fight for, because you want to pull your weight and you want to not let your team down. So you'll find that you also improve a lot as well, because you put a little bit of pressure on yourself. Not so much pressure that you get like incredible anxiety or something like that. Obviously, when it's game day, you do feel that anxiety again because you really want to perform. But when you're practicing, you're like, oh, I got to put in so many games a day, and I'm going to jump into customs and work on my build orders, when normally you wouldn't, because you don't really have that motivation. But with a Team League, much different story.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're social creatures. We don't really do well sitting in a void. It's so much fun having a clan, having friends to chat with, play with.
Oh my god.
And let some stress out with, rather than making angry Reddit posts.
Yeah. You know what the most amazing thing is here?
What?
This is hatch gas pull from Hero Shrugs, and they pulled workers out of the gas.
Command center upgrade complete.
Oh, they put them back on now, but there was workers out of gas for a little bit there. It looked like a build. This looks like a 2-minute 33 base.
Yeah, well, it is an early 6 Zergling pressure, and once again, Mukau has got the Reaper and the CC on the high ground. No bunker this time around, but let's see. I feel like Hero here, from the looks of it, it's like, hey, look, I've gone pool first. I am an SCSwarm player. Sit on your high ground for the next 3 minutes waiting for the Roachling proxy hatch, whatever else is to come. And if Hero just goes to 50 workers and then does some shenanigans, I really like it. Like, even though these Zerglings don't do anything, you force the CC to the high ground, you've kept your opponent at home. I think just psychologically, Hero's the one with all the advantages and well, not really the advantages, but the space to work with, right? You've got space, you've got room to react. You called it, Maynard. That third base is going to go down.
Ooh.
Oh, did the Reaper just get surrounded?
Yeah, the Reaper got surrounded.
By slow Zerglings. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a disaster. Hellions will clear this up, but is going to need to pull a few SCVs to repair. It's only pulled one. Ooh, only pulling a second one now. Really towing the line there, but that is good judgment. It should be just fine. Those Hellions will come out and roast these Zerglings, as long as they pop on the correct side, which they do. Good Hellions.
The amount of games I've lost from rallying to what I think is behind the factory, and then a Hellion pops out on the other side of the Spidey Burrow and goes, "Herp a derp, here I am." And then you're like, well.
Dude, I get so mad at that. Yeah, your add-ons block it or something. It's like, well, they're popping at the exact same time, so there's no space for two, and you're like, ugh.
At least it isn't Brood War, where it could pop out at any point in the structure at any time, and you just sort of have to roll the dice and hope.
You never know.
That high ground bunker, though, the SCSwarm fear.
Yeah, man. You just don't know what's going to come next, right? So Mukauthon playing very conservatively right now. Worried about a Ling Flood. Worried about Roaches running in. Looks like Banshees is going to be the choice of safety here, not the Siege Tanks. And that will give a little bit more mobility and so on. Back at home, though, Hero is droning like a boss. It's getting creep spread out there. Adding that worker count, already up to 2 bases saturated. He's going to drop a Baneling Nest, but it strikes me as a defensive Baneling Nest here so far, because we've got tons of Queens on the way, and whilst there are some Lings going out, there's not that many. We see the Sacrificial Overlord coming in to scout for Hero. Meanwhile, the Sacrificial Hellion for Mukauthon is going to go check for a third base, and this is going to be a really good choice from Mukau. Sees the third finish and says, oh, okay, we're in a normal game. All right, you're just macroing up. No worries, buddy.
Oh, man, that horrifying 46 supply block. Every Terran knows it. Every Terran fears it. unfortunately here for McCawthon. The Overlord saw no Tech Lab spinning there on the starport, so if Cloak is going to happen, it's going to be a little while from now.
Yeah.
But I think Spores are still pretty important to have, and we see Hero Shrugs actually taking this so seriously. We've already got Spore Crawler coverage in the main and the natural. Nothing at the third just yet.
There is a good amount of queens out. The drone count has slowed down just a little for now. Hero's setting up perfect defense on every side. Has seen a big Hellion count. Both players, you can see, neither one rushing the economy. No third command center just yet. Nothing like that. They're both respecting. And ooh,
I like
what is that?
Armory. I like it. We're going to have some Hellbat Banshee.
That's going to be a big one. There's already 9 Hellions. By the time this hits, there could be like 11 Hellions. Against Ling Bane, you need a lot of Banelings to deal with that. So that's going to be awesome. Lair's on the way. 14 Lings, 43 drones at home for the Zerg player. I think we're going to see a Spire. What do you reckon?
Yeah. I mean, only 3 gases being mined from, but yeah, there is going to be a good bank of gas, isn't there?
Oh, here comes the Hellions, though. Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
A lot more Lings on the way. Going to need to be real quick with this Baneling morph. That's a lot of Hellions right now, and Hero's got a ton of Lings, but that's a lot of Hellbats. Uh-oh. SCSwarm could be in trouble right now. Yeah.
I think so. Cloak's also finished for these Banshees, and I'm not seeing Overseers here, Pig.
Oh, God. Where's the Banelings? Where's the Banelings? The Banelings are morphing. There is a Spore in the mineral line. I think abandoning the third is the correct call there.
Yeah, so
keep those queens alive. Yeah, let it go for now. That's going to go down. Mukau does need to focus it. Might get a bit too carried away clicking on other things. There we go. Yeah, focus that hatch because there's going to be Banelings and Queens crashing down here in the near future. I would actually love to see Mukau pull back at this point, but let's just see. The Banshee's kind of zoning around. It's going to clear some creep.
Misses the Banelings in that scan. He's going to try going up the ramp. Oh, boy. Okay, sees the Banelings now. Get out. That's a get out. That's so many Banelings. And he's on Creeper, too. Don't go in, McCawthon. Don't go in.
Leave! No! Oh, he's gonna... 3 Banshees. That's a lot of Banshees, but there's too many transfusers. Too many transfusers and...
Oh, no.
Oh! That is the most disgusting hug ever. Oh, no. That's when you're... your obese auntie when you're a little kid and she insists on not just hugging you, but squeezing to you till your ribs feel like they're gonna crack, and then she's like peppering you in kisses. That's the sort of hug that nobody wants. Like, 8 Banelings... ton of Zerglings surrounding the Queens, wrecked the Banshees, a great follow-up. But the third base did go down for Hero, and there's a third CC behind it. There's been a lot of good macro behind it for Mukau.
Yeah.
So as long as Mukau can defend a counterattack, and with a Banshee and a Hellion, that should be okay. I think Mukau's doing all right, and the game kind of resets a little bit here, where we've got faster upgrades for Zerg, but is having to go into a third and a fourth at the same time to catch up.
Can he get through these depots with the Banelings there? No.
Ooh, it's not enough Banelings to take him out. That's only 4. You need 5 to kill the depots, and the SCVs are already there. Oh, very nice.
Clutch repair there.
That's beautifully done there by Mukau. Has got 2 bunkers up as a reinsurance there as well. Nothing to put in them.
Yeah, I was going to say, no Marines, though.
That happens every time, dude. I do that all the time. I got 2 bunkers, and I got like 1 Marine. It gets killed before it gets in the bunker, and I'm just there like, why do I even build this stupid structure? They never help me, man.
Well, see, what you do is you just go for the swag thing, where you rally 1 bunker's eject to the other bunker, and vice versa, and then you just have the 1 Marine bounce between the 2 bunkers over and over again.
Mess with their aggro.
That's right. We are going to see that Spire here. You were expecting it, and we are seeing it here from Hero Shrugs, and I think that's a pretty good option. Right now, Mukau is just thinking, oh, God, I got to get my economy up. I need to get my barracks up. I want to switch into Biotank here.
Yeah.
And isn't thinking about a Spire right now.
Already going up to 6 barracks. 1 factory, 1 starport, Biotank, Medevac. Nice way to play. Really needs the third base, because Mukau has a butt-ton of SCVs, even more than the Zerg still at this point. So he's going to go down and float that. He's having a bit of a gas shortage here, so definitely needs to get on gas and maybe take the gases on the third as well.
Dude, are we sure that Hero Shrugs is actually Diamond 3/2? Look at this creep spread.
Ooh, damn. Very nice. Good amount of focus on that. It's so good on this big map as well, right? Spreading it on all sides on Port Alexander is not easy. I remember the first week or 2 of this map, I was like, how the frig do I... There's like 8 paths. What the hell, man? I was like, this takes so much APM to spread creep on this map, but doing a good job there. Mutas are on the way. 1-1's finished. Nice Lingbane setup, and I really feel like it's at this point, it's hard to finish the Zerg, right? Heroes survived to this point where as long as you just keep making enough Lingbane, I feel like that the onus is on how does the Terran push. It's not so much how does the Zerg defend usually. What I see is like how well does the Terran set up his push to make it so the Zerg army isn't as effective. And the big thing that I've always got my eye on is one big mistake where you clump your units up can be really bad for you.
This one Ling in the third of McCawthon has actually killed 2 SCVs and is working on getting a third.
Fight me, fight me, fight me, fight me. Yeah, if he focus fired, might have even got a few more. That was crazy, though. Mutas are going to fly in the back of the natural. And you know what? That's actually good for Mukau because it should drag his attention over here. So we can look at it and say, put on gas. Put on gas. Because that's the big thing which is going to hurt him. Starts 2-2, but has no gas left over. So Mukau's macro is on fire. It's just the gas shortage is the one stoppage. Other than that, upgrades are great. Spending is great.
Oh, no.
Yeah, these mutas are really looking for the damage very ambitiously. Oh, they're going to find the tank.
Yeah, tank's a nice pick off, and mostly Marauders here, only a few Marines. Just a small amount of mutas, though, so they are taking a lot of hit point damage from these Marines. Getting a medevac would be pretty sweet as well. We've got to be careful, as the Marines could stem and intercept. Yeah, it's going to be careful. So, I really, really like, speaking of macro, Mukauthon or McCawthon's position here. A lot of these SCVs aren't actually mining right now, because they're like on top of these depots he's just finished. But there is a 4th CC in the main, nearly done. And Hero Shrugs has actually not made drones in a really long time. So 59 drones on 4 bases is not that great for Zerg. So a good trade for Terran could actually end this game.
Yeah, definitely won't have that same refill capability, but we're seeing where that APM's going instead. These mutas being super annoying. A couple of little Zerglings earlier, individual ones even being annoying. And this is all going to really throw Mukau off balance. And that's powerful because in this matchup, you get a little bit thrown off by Terran. I was talking about it earlier. You lose your patience, you move your ball of bio across the map into a bunch of banelings and the game's over, right? You've got to be very methodical and patient and just really set up your pushes correctly.
The drop's getting deflected here. The Marines weren't being looked at for a second, and they die to the banelings and the Lings here of Hero Shrugs, of which there are many. Yeah. And the mutas have not been dealt with. He keeps rallying units out from the main base. A lot of SCVs just standing around. And there we go. Now some Marines are hitting on those mutas. There we go. Catches and kills the mutas and that Overlord that's actually been sitting in the main for half the game. And the Ling Bane army here of Hero Shrugs, while it is just Ling Bane, there is so much of it that it might not matter. A lot of even like pro players right now in ZVT are doing this. Just tons of Ling Bane.
Yeah. Rogue showed us a 95 drone mass Ling Bane style versus Innovation in IAM, which was very cool. He said, I don't need anything but Ling's Banes and a couple of Queens to stop drops. We see a lot of scans going down. I think he's worried about a Hive coming up, and he does see that it's just a lair. Hive hasn't started, and that does tell Mukau that he can kind of sit back, take a deep breath for a little bit. That being said, I wouldn't want to let the Zerg get too out of control. And I also feel like the way Hero's playing, he's really looking to be the one dictating the pace. Anytime the Zerg can force a fight in 2 places at once, the Terran is usually going to be the one that loses out of that, right? We saw the drop go in while trying to deal with the mutas, and the drop did nothing. It got eradicated. Anytime that can happen is really good for the Zerg player. This run by, really cheap expenditure, doesn't achieve much. Actually, it was really good for Mukau. Brings his attention to his miss rally, but at the front, oh my god, there's no Marines down there. There's not enough firepower. A lot of Banelings being used up on Marauders, but that SCV line is looking mighty exposed.
It certainly is. He loses 12 so far, as we are seeing a lot more Banelings are still alive. They're going to connect with the rest of the back line there. 22 going down in the end. Strangely enough, McCawthon, even after losing 22 SCVs, because Hero Shrugs has not been looking at his economy for a really long time, is actually still okay.
Yeah.
So even after losing that, he's still okay. And he has a massive army supply advantage. We got Hero Shrugs trying to switch into Hydras and making some Banes right now, but they're not ready.
They're not ready just yet. Now, Mukau's in disarray, though. I think remember I was talking about don't get panicked and don't just shove onto creep until you're ready. I would love to see him start setting up an army on the north side. It looks like he's doing that. He knows where this 4th is, but look at that from Hero. Hero's already abandoned with most of the drones. He's going to pick off a tank or 2, but he doesn't need to fight into a bad location. That being said, that bio army, those Hydras are on top of it. Uh-oh, Mukau, he dives deep, he gets a hatchery, but that was not an important hatchery, and Hero gets the engagement he was looking for. He wanted that engagement.
Oh, man. Full medevac as well, getting plucked from the sky by these Hydras on the way through. And a second medevac picked off. It was empty, but still, getting rid of these medevacs makes the utility of bio so less painful for Zerg. There's only 2 medevacs on the field right now, Pig, and they're not being replenished. So,
you know what? He doesn't have the gas to Maynard. He's still only got
Yeah.
one worker on each gas on the natural. That one's coming back to bite him in the butt. He's putting gas here, but he didn't build a planetary on the 4th as well. Very greedy from Mukau, and that's going to get punished. A planetary here would have been able to hold, but now 19 workers and the orbital go down. We see Mukau come forward. Tanks, Bio trying to move forwards, but Hero with the Hydraling wraparound says, you can't leave. And that's a beautiful concave of Hydras, but no attack upgrades. So when the Ling Bane washes up, the +2 armor on the Bio becomes really big. And what started as a good engage does bleed out some Hydras in the tail end of that. I mean, economy-wise, we are seeing both players not in an ideal situation. Mukau was set up for the gigantic, long, drawn-out macro game and really needed to just extend things and pick away. But Hero, I feel, has just been chilling at 60 drones, but taking better fights all overall. And as long as the Hydras don't throw themselves away, we've got that base on the south, rebuilding the base on the north. As long as Hero readjusts the drone saturation, that's the important thing, because a lot of them are stacked up. And there we go, just as I say it, Hero says, hey, I've got a moment of peace, move those drones down to the 5th. That bottom 5th base is going to get fully saturated, the top one's going up, and Mukau, I think, definitely losing control of the pace of this game. We see units kind of rallying across a little bit. I keep talking about how if you accidentally just lose patience and go into the Zerg, a Zerg who's been slowly losing advantages to you all game, they can just roll Banelings onto your army, snap your air units and your tanks with Hydras, and suddenly they're ahead again. And check it out. Mukau's got better upgrades, got a good-sized army, but where are the tanks? Where are the mines or anything like that? It's pure Marine Marauder. It's all going to come down to Mukau's splits against the Banelings, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do it deep on creep.
He's gotten a couple of those Banelings done, but he had to do it at the expense of a bunch of his bio units. The tank does get dropped, but it's loaded up into a medevac, and I think that was a misclick there on that medevac, but it is kind of helping him here. All that bio needs to get on the front line and start gunning through these Hydras. Is the
Marines, their firepower with +3 against these Hydras. They massacre them. There's no Banelings left here, but he's heavily stimmed. There's very little healing left. McCawthon, I think he's got to pull back for now, wait for more units. He's got a 4th landed on the top. He's got a bunch of orbitals. He's got these, if he can make 2 more orbitals. He's got the better economy in the long term. If he can drag this out, I'd love to see Mukau, just McCawthon, pull back. And I know his name's McCawthon, but I really prefer calling him Mukau. It's just fun.
Yeah, let's just Mukau from now.
It's such a good name. Yeah, he's just got to take a deep breath, though. I think if he sets up his economy, he's in a good spot.
Well, that 4th is still exposed. I guess that's the lifted off main here. Surrounded by Lings. Not a whole lot he can do about that. More SCV's about to die.
Oh, he's going to dive for it. He's going to dive for it. He's out of position. He says, okay, base traded this, buddy. Let's go. Stim's in. The problem is there's only one medevac here. Every stim is going to take these units' hit points down, and Hero snaps the base in the top and then just turns around and comes home. McCawthon realizes he can't go any deeper. He's got to get the hell out of there. Oh, he's doing the patrol splitting. Ah, okay, he's a patrol splitting player. Awesome. I don't see that very often these days. Does end up having Banelings coming in. So many Banelings from the left. Good control from McCawthon, but he does not have enough units. A lot of Banelings get used for that engage, but because the 4th base has gone down, the reinforce for McCawthon, Mukau is just a little bit too weak. It's not going to be enough. He's trying to get these new command centers, but I think Hero, who's just kept that 60, 66 drone economy stable this whole time, has really kept his economy untouched all game. Mukau is in trouble and not really able to keep up there. So, dude, the defecation. The defecation.
The defecation of McCawthon.
The decapitating.
Right.
Always the ultimate annoyance in these low economy situations. An Overlord dealing with you. Ling Bane coming down there. SCVs! Run, Drilly boys, run!
Drilly boys are going to go down in a vat of acid here. 10 more dying, and it looks like steam is running out for Mukau, as he is just... He's hand-to-mouth with his minerals right now, trying to make whatever he can. He hasn't got a whole lot in the pipeline, so it looks like the Zerg has finally cracked him. That 3rd base has been where most of the action is in this game, and it is going to be where this game ends. GG and well played says that was a good one, and I have to agree. Well played, Joe Shrugs. Putting SCSwarm, I think, on match point.
That does take them to a 3-1 lead. Of course, no matter what, we do end up casting all of the replays of this. Give all the players some love, as the players... do play the games throughout the week and so on, but yeah, that does put them on match point there. And it's decisiveness. Like, you can just see the focus in their games. Early aggression doesn't work out or something doesn't work out. They're just like very focused on what they think the most important thing is. And I feel like they're usually identifying it correctly, which is there's periods of attacking for sure. But even if that doesn't work out, I feel like the Zerg players are very clear on quick. Okay, yeah, we've put our opponent on the defensive. Drone, build the next army. And then they kind of ignored their economy in the later stage. We were saying, oh, he's only at 60 drones. It's not a gigantic economy. But his army usage was fantastic. He was running around with the Lings. He was doing run-bys. He was running mutas around constantly. And I think that's what forced the mistakes out of the opponent. A lot of the time we get in the mistake of looking at StarCraft as this static battle, where it's like, this beats this beats this. But so much of StarCraft, especially in Zerg versus Terran, is more about this push and pull of attention, right? If I make you look here, and I make you look there, and I make you look here, suddenly your adrenaline's high. Guess what? You forget to put on gas all game. Guess what? You dive a little bit deep on creep and get your army massacred. Or there was that moment where the Ling run by had forced half of McCawthon's army into the main, and that was when he cleared all the SCVs on the third. And even though McCawthon was still up in supply and actually in a decent position there, you could tell he was shaken and rattled a little bit mentally because he's like, God damn, man, I'm getting hit from all sides. I got to do something on the other side of the map, and got a little bit overeager. So I think it's just awesome to see SCSwarm players being very in control of what they want to be focusing on at various points of the match. At no point do I feel they're unclear on what they want to achieve. And even when they're behind, they're like, okay, this is the way I get back in the game, and they just focus on executing it. So you can tell the preparation is very real for this team.
Absolutely. Very, very real. And, that's been brought up by a lot of people where there are several resources in StarCraft. There's supply, there's minerals, there's gas, but there's also attention. It's another resource. And if you can take it away, then it's going to get you a lot of damage. And if not, just straight up wins.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Snipers, for the 3-month resub. I really appreciate the support, guys. Miani as well with the 13-month resub. Thank you very much, friends. I really appreciate it. We're going to be hopping into the next match in just a second. Let's get it underway. All right. Up here in the top left-hand side, representing SCSwarm in the pink, it is Sappho.
That's right. And in the bottom right, in the blue, the Protoss, representing BornGosu. It is the Fetus.
All right, I'm not even waiting for the rest of the matches. I'm handing out best alias of the series right here, right now to the Fetus.
It was Mukau-thon, but it is now the Fetus.
Sorry, Mukau. It's just, the Fetus wins. That gets the People's Award for best name there. And of course, both of these players did have a very solid regular season. Both players took home 2 wins. The Fetus had a loss as well. Whilst I believe Sappho just played 2 matches in the season and won both of them. Both players won their quarterfinals matches, but actually... they both lost the semifinals matches. Okay. Both are looking to redeem themselves after the loss in the semis, but they're both looking really good here. So it is, of course, Protoss versus Zerg. Very typical opening so far from the Fetus. Sappho on the other side of things looks like quite a fast hatch gas pool. I think we might be seeing a Ling flood here.
And scouted by the Fetus. And does the Fetus know what he's seeing here from Sappho?
Because it's like, hey, it's a hatch.
She's got her aggressive pants on.
Yeah, it's like, but there's a hatchery. Look, I want a drone. It's a normal build.
I'm expanding. I'm a macro Zerg, I promise.
But look at it's like building a few more drones as Sappho. So, I mean, it might be that, it might not. No matter what, there's going to be a pretty damn fast Ling speed. But I'm feeling Ling Flood. We'll see exactly what it ends up being here. That spawning pool finishes 6 Lings already. And the probe, I mean, you see the pool finish. You see 3 eggs instantly turn into lava, turn into eggs.
And she's out of gas. Yeah, this is a Ling flood, I think.
it looks like it, doesn't it? Already, look at this wall off, though, for the Fetus. Holy crap. Yeah, that's solid. That is thick.
Yeah, thick with 2 Cs in it. The Zealot in the front wall. And the Zealot's got a lot of hit points. It's a big boy. You do want a shield battery just for safety, though, I think.
Yeah, a couple of depths behind will make things nice. Oh, man.
Now, there are
that shield battery blocks in Nexus!
Yeah,
that shield battery blocks in Nexus!
There are some people that I've played against where they'll get a shield battery like this, and they won't realize that on Cyber Forest, you don't have that much room to wall in your natural.
No, the Fetus!
Nexus.
The follow-up to this is putting a Nexus down to get nice and ahead. One Zealot's in the open a little, but I think with the other Zealot there ready to fight, there's not much you can do. Cancels it! The Fetus! Good. I think went to place it there and was like, wait a second. And then just canceled it barely in time.
Man, the Fetus wasn't born yesterday. In fact, it probably wasn't born at all. It's just a Fetus.
Yeah, I think it's a wise Fetus, though. And that's a bit of a weird semi-wall. The units are going to have to go all the way around the Nexus to get out, but it's safe. I feel like it's a 3rd trimester for sure. I mean, it's definitely got some experience with, like, Ling rushes and stuff. So the Fetus here... It's not just like the size of a coin or anything. We're talking like it's definitely showing. People are asking the mother when she's due, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's eggplant size for sure. And will be BornGosu, of course, when the fetus finally does pop.
Well, that's the only way it can be born. When you're on this team, there is no other way to be born. 4 shield batteries. Oh, okay. I like the cancel there because you know what? It's the exact same thing as that last game. We were talking about flexibility off of the clan tag, right? The SCSwarm clan tag is basically like getting into match and your opponent typing in chat, I'm going to cheese you. Watch out. But you know what? These players are adjusting. They're adapting. Sappho here is droning up, taking a third. The drone count's not that crazy. But there we go. Yeah, 7 more drones. It's about to get really, really good. So Sappho is forcing a massive over response and is taking the worker lead. That's going to become an epic worker lead. And the fetus here, I think, just in a little bit too much of a defensive stance. So I think we will see Sappho take a small edge in the economy, and fetus is going to have to play very clean from there to make sure isn't surprised by anything. So it's really hard to balance that, right? You don't want to die to the same silly thing that you should expect from an aggressive team, but balancing that with not playing with a sort of traumatized viewpoint where you're reacting to things that aren't even happening is very difficult. Balancing safe play with not being overly safe to the point where you're just behind if your opponent transitions. That's the tough thing. That's why cheese is so hard. And that's why when you look at a player who's very aggressive, the really, really high level ones have so many shifts and switches in their play. They see their opponent reacting and they shift gears immediately. And it's within those reads where they trick their opponent and they surprise them and they get ahead. And guess what? Right now, that's led to a 12 worker lead. Spores were actually done insanely fast. Sappho, I think, has had some bad dreams about oracles in the past.
Yeah,
and
she's been once or twice in her time.
Yeah, she's not going to let that happen again. She's more than prepared, and I like it. You don't want to see your drone line go down to an oracle in this sort of game. And Fetus finally going to get some scouting on the map.
She poked the wall with those lings to just see the Stargate as well, so I'm sure that's what's forced the Spore Crawlers. She's done nothing but make drones, which I love. She's perfectly well with great map spotting and constant awareness with Overlords and Lings on the front of the natural of Fetus that this is a 2-base Protoss. So drones is great, but you do need to be worried about what are they doing on 2 bases.
Her map
Stargate,
vision
yeah,
is
obviously, but what
everything,
else?
Her map vision is insane right now. She sees everything. The Oracle gets 2 workers. Not a bad first run-in for Fetus, but yeah, Robo's on the way, a second Oracle. The question for me is, where does Fetus take this? And I think definitely Immortals are a must-have because this is looking like a mass Roach. And I mean, if there's SCSwarm, almost all the players are very Roach Hydra focused. It's their their forte is Roach Hydra in many matchups. So I think a lot of Immortals will be good. And the question is, can you get a third? Do you go for a timing? I like this little light pressure with the units moving out. The Oracle's going to dive in and find a Queen. Nice. The healthy Oracle actually tanks there. They're going to go for a second Queen, but they can't get that. Good pullback by the Fetus.
The Queens are the only anti-air at the moment for Sappho. Hydra Den does start as she realizes, maybe Queens. I shouldn't just rely on those to deal with these Oracles. And also just the fact that, like you mentioned, Roach Hydra being a staple for the SCSwarm players and just good in general against most Protoss things until the Immortal count gets really, really high. Seeing a Prism on the way here for the Fetus. The Fetus looking like they want to get aggressive, but there's not like that many. There's only 2 Warp Gates.
Yeah.
So not that many, not that many things to warp in, I guess.
Lacking the ground production. It's hard at this point, isn't
no
it?
resonating waves.
The Twilight's just finished. We've got Immortals. We've got a Forge on the way. This is always that hard thing because that economic lead we talked about Sappho establishing by forcing the over response. You've got a few Oracles. You've got a Warp Prism. You had a few Shield Batteries at the third. But Fetus is just down in material right now, right? So like if Sappho just attacks with a big Roach Hydra swell, Fetus is going to need intense micro. Like warping in a few Stalkers is nice. A Stasis Trap is maybe a saving grace, but I think Sappho is like, nope, it's time. Let's go. Oh, Zergling might set off the Stasis Trap. That would be a disaster. Yep.
Yeah, wow.
And Fetus has no firepower. There's nothing to kill Roaches here. The first Immortals just popped out, but it's going to take forever to get here. Sappho just threatens with Zerglings early, scares the crap out of the Fetus, makes a ton of drones, A-moves with the Roaches. Not even an A-move. That was actually a beautiful surround. Let's be real. Sappho set that up nicely.
And the Prism comes home and it could potentially micro this all around, but it looks like that this doesn't even get to save it. The Prism, I think, maybe got F2'd back there, but the Immortal is dead. The lifeline of the Fetus is, I mean, it's not going to be here, so...
Chaticus Maximus is going to roll in. He's going to try and clear a few Roaches, but yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
And here come the Hydras to make sure that Chad goes home without any laid plans.
Yeah, it takes out a Roach or 2, but the Hydras say, nah, you need to leave, buddy. Immortal's going to pop out. Those shield batteries from earlier now going to do something, but, you know, it was just definitely that overreaction from Fetus early on. I mean, that the material difference here was insane. Sappho droned so well. This is the best macro we've seen so far today out of one of the SCSwarm Zerg players. But it's also, you know, it was enabled by the freedom that was given by the Protoss overreaction early on. And when you have that freedom, it is just such a good way to swell ahead and turn that economy lead into a fierce Roach Hydra timing attack. +1 was done. We obviously had the Hydra move speed upgrade.
Even droning.
Yeah.
What a goddess. A literal goddess, Tasteless.
Wrecked.
Absolute domination from Sappho. And you know what that does, Pig? That means SCSwarm are the champions of Season 21
God
of the
damn.
CTL.
2 out of
That's
3.
Sappho's win.
2 out of 3. They've played 3 seasons. They've made it to the finals 3 times. And they've won 2 out of 3. These guys, honestly, unstoppable. I guess this is what happens when a clan is based around a website about learning a whole bunch of really tight build orders. So for those of you who don't actually know what SCSwarm is, I'm going to give you guys a little look at me Google here. And what was this? SC2swarm.com. Look at that. They're
Do
recruiting.
you mean Swarm?
Schwarm.
Are you trying to Google for Shawarma?
I'm looking up some beautiful shawarma, man. I could go for some nice shawarma right now. But look at this. It's just, these guys are so
ins.
committed to learning all-in battlecruiser counter, standard Roach CVP. That's none of them do that. They
What is
all in into that.
standard
Yeah.
Roach CVP? How did that get through the filter? How did
No
the
one's-
moderators let that one get submitted?
Yeah, no one's clicked on that guide or the standard CVT guide before.
Oh, imagine not.
2-base CVZ by
Another standard
Mick
guide?
Monroe.
What? Oh man, the mods are getting a little bit lax here on the SCSwarm webpage. Can't believe they're letting these builds in.
So if you guys want to improve as a Zerg player, definitely check out their website. Of course, guys, we are going to be continuing to cast the rest of the games. We're already hopping to the next one with a couple of players who I do recognize, which is awesome. Very keen to see how they go. This is the Chobo Team League Season 21 Grand Finals. It's an amateur league. We are getting to the top Diamond 1 matches, gang. And let's see how it goes. We are launching into this map number 6. Down here in the bottom left, representing SCSwarm. An awesome player who's definitely been around the block a bunch.
Yeah,
it's
I know
Jaded
this name.
Shard.
Jaded Shard, the ex-captain. And in the top right, the Terran opponent in the green. This is Lizard Kingley, representing BornGosu.
I do offer prayers to the Lizard King before I go to sleep at night. I make my triangle symbol with the eye in it and give my prayers. Let's see if Lizard Kingley can get some more points on the board, turn this one into a closer finishing scoreline. Of course, Lizard Kingley has actually been a dominant threat for BornGosu. Not just in CTL, but other team leagues as well. Just basically crushes in team leagues. So yeah, Jaded Shard is interesting as a player because you're looking at the clan tag. It's SCSwarm, and yet this is, oh my lord, an actual non-Zerg player. This is why we get so excited whenever we cast Jaded Shard, because it's that rare chance to get a non-Zerg player for SCSwarm playing and showing some good games. And basically this is their what do you call it, where you got to hire people of different backgrounds and stuff? It's your diversity hire. Yeah,
Diversity
that's it.
Like Fear Dragon for WCS.
Yes. For those of you who weren't around yesterday, they're like, oh, what? Is he? Obviously, it's a bit of an in-joke from yesterday. We were having a bit of fun. Though I believe Fear Dragon insisted that we were actually the diversity hires.
Yeah,
And,
as the whites, we come from so many countries that he believes that we're actually diversity hires.
Yeah.
It is true. You know, we got a girl from Virginia, we got a guy from Seattle, we got another guy from Scranton, Pennsylvania. We have a guy from Rotterdam. We got a guy from where was he from? Some village in England, Demumu. Where's he from? Was it North?
Is he from-
Nottingham. He's from Nottingham. He's
Nottingham,
actually from
yeah.
Nottingham. Yeah, the fabled city where there was a
sheriff
sheriff.
of- yeah.
And then you from Sydney, me from South Australia. Like, we're from everywhere. So many white people.
We've got our Frenchie, Todd. Can't
Yes,
forget
of
him.
course. A Frenchie.
Our
From
Welshie-
Saint Pierre de Corps. Our Welsh man from
Welshman who-
Stone.
Yep. Who killed Pro League. That's why.
Killed Pro League, the Korean scene.
Yeah,
Took
he
a
said
death blow because of him. Still
There weren't
survives
enough
him.
sheep. He didn't like it. He's like, nah, my Welsh can't agree with this. My name is Apollo, Pro League Slayer.
Ooh,
Lizard Kingley gets 2 kills, but will be punished for it.
Jaded Shard's actually going for a opening that Fantasy has been doing a little bit. I've seen him in Illumina League, where he actually goes for a reactor before getting that Reaper to double out the Reaper production from there instead.
Oh, Oh, that's a cute one. I like that. I'm going to try that one time.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Fantasy has his own flavor.
Yeah, he's
Fantasy
a
is
very unique Terran.
He's a real free thinker. Like he makes up all of his own builds, but executes at a very high level. And it's not that long since Fantasy came back from the military, right? Like, is it a year now? Is it even that long?
Oh, I'd say less.
It's like less than a year. And he's. You guys have seen my proxy battlecruiser PVT I copied off him. Like, there's just these wild, interesting ways he brings out the plays, and Fantasy's just this legendary RTS player, right? He's so good in Brood War for so many years and still such a good StarCraft 2 player just months after coming back from the military. But anyway, guys.
Brood War champion.
Yeah. Ooh, the Reaper's doing a good job here.
Yeah,
so
this is one of the great things about New Repugnancy is that that ledge, if you have a good number of Reapers, you can bounce up into the mineral line of the natural and bounce out. So this bunker is a little bit ineffective for Lizard Kinley, but it is still mitigating where the Reapers can jump up.
Oh my lord, look at this follow-up drop from Jaded Shark. Click on that, Maynard. That's 3 Hellions and 2 Reapers in a medevac, and 2 Reapers that'll jump up the cliff to join it. That's going to be 4 Reapers, 3 Hellions, and medevac. No, sorry, there's a 5th Reaper rallying across, and there's more on the way. Jaded Shard, you madman! What are you doing? This is awesome. I love it.
Oh, you could actually just send those 4 Reapers into the main and kill these Marines and then dive on top of the Cyclone. There are enough Reapers here to kill that Cyclone. Normally the Cyclone stops this shenanigan.
I think, it's actually going to ignore it and go for the workers, and that is the higher value target, but that means there's an expiry date on this. You got to, oh my lord, 7 workers, one more volley. There's still 2 Hellions alive, another volley goes down, that's 9 workers, one more shot, oh man, I mean 7 more shots apparently, 11 workers go down. That was beautiful, but a lot of army sacrificed for worker damage, and what's the Artosis rule, guys?
Yeah, when you're ahead, get further ahead.
And the other one is if your opponent sacrifices a whole bunch of army to kill your economy, go across the map and punish them for it immediately. But I love this Reaper fight. Even just a little thing like this, anything to throw Lizard off balance and stop Lizard from doing that. Nice. Oh my god, it's going to be a killing spree. 3 SCV kills. Oh, does end up getting punished.
Dude.
Every second that's bought is huge for Jaded Shard. Jaded Shard has so few units, but it's like, no, I'm going to have 2 tanks soon. Give me a minute. I will have a ton of stuff. But right now, Lizard Kingley has the more technical, scarier force. The problem is Lizard Kingley is stuck in that corner of the map.
Dude, it's amazing. Really good stuff here from Jaded Shard, who I'd absolutely is saying is at the moment wearing the daddy pants in this game. Having that third on the way, having double SCV production non-stop as well. Lizard Kingley's been missing SCV production from here and there. He's back on it now, but is still missing a few SCV cycles. There is a bigger army for Lizard Kingley, but the thing is in TVT, unless you're, really ahead on the army supply, it's so hard to kill a Terran. Something I've been very frustrated with in my TVTs lately.
Because there was no Vikings, I guess. Like, it was afraid. It's scary to push across, right? Because you eat 1 tank volley and you kind of just have to go home.
That's right. You get a tank volley and you're like, oh, I need 20 more army supply to actually crack this. I can't just be up a dozen. Like, this is actually it's a tank on a high ground and a tank on the low ground annihilating all my stuff. The Raven, of course, which Lizard Kingley has and Jaded Shard does not have, is a pretty big advantage if they do want to throw down. But Lizard Kingley, as we are seeing here, is not showing any signs of being aggressive, is actually getting a third of his own and is just chilling, is just macroing up. But is doing it from a little bit behind.
It's an interesting situation because Lizard Kingley can definitely catch up. It's like, the third's a bit slower, but building SCVs, has the Raven. What's interesting to me is, you've got the Raven, and are we going to see Vikings out of that starport for Lizard, or is it going to be medevacs? Because if it's Vikings, and we see a big investment for Kingley towards Viking, Raven, air superiority, that's really nice. But guess what? We've got Jaded Shard building medevacs, Marines, way more Marines, way faster barracks production, stims on the way, shields. So any fight in the open ground, if you're both unsieged, you just stim with the Marines and you just cleanse the army of Lizard. But if Lizard's very careful, keeps the tank sieged, slows everything down, the Vikings, the potential, the Raven, the potential Vikings, which I'm still waiting to see. No, it's going to be medevacs. So anyway, whoever controls the air is better in a slow kind of pushing back and forward, sieging, unsieging war. However, if you get in the mobility game, Jaded Shard has the Marine count, has the advantage there. Already up a few Marines, faster on the upgrades, but a well-placed Raven on the top side, ready to use that cuck matrix on these medevacs. So you got to be real careful to not go too deep as Jaded Shard. But, it's dropping. No, there's a tank there. And, Jaded Shard scanned the main, saw a ton of tanks and Marines. And I guess the back of the natural is the weak spot. Seems like Jaded Shard has found it. The tank doesn't reach, so a double drop in the back could kill a lot of SCVs.
Yeah, certainly. Stim pack done for both players now, so that stim advantage has gone away. Would have been nice for Jaded Shard to utilize like the faster stim. Maybe I personally would have dumped on that tank there by the third, taken the tank and the tank out, and then loaded up and gotten out of there. This SCV that's making a turret.
Oh, he's diving.
South.
He's
Oh,
diving
wow.
on top of the tank. That is super ambitious, and that is going to get punished hard. Oh, Lizard says, no way, mate. Nah.
Oh, that went bad for Jaded Shard there. He didn't even get the tank that he was going for.
Yeah, whenever I do that move, and I think every Terran's done that, where you just get this impulse to drop on that tank, and that's the one where afterwards I'm swearing at myself. When I do that on ladder, I'm like, put it back in your pants. Why are you so excited? Zip your pants up, pig. Zip your pants up. God damn it.
This is a house party. We're all friends here. Put it back in your pants. It's like an iPhone. You know, everyone has one, but it's rude to bring it out at the dinner table.
Yeah. Oh, man. A little bit more patience there. Definitely would have served Jaded Shard quite well. Getting the Sensor Tower would have been nice. You can tell that Lizard's very defensively set up. This is like, I shall just really set up the Sensor Towers. Is moving across, and that I'm not a fan of, because Lizard's force looks kind of sad. This is your budget army. It's like, I'm going to leave 80% of my tanks at home and towers and stuff covering my base, and a little poke's not bad, but like, even already, Jaded Shard has like a bigger marine force out on the map, and is ahead on those upgrades. 1-1's not quite done.
Catch him.
Uh-oh.
Catch him.
Oh, where's the stim?
Where's stim?
Neither side stimmed. Oh no! Oh no!
Take
Cuck
that,
Matrix.
medevac.
That medevac's not healing. Oh no!
The ultimate plan. The Raven survives, by the way, which is really, really nice. But obviously getting caught in the middle of the map like that really does sting. Loses his tank, loses a bunch of Marines. It's actually not that many Marines for Lizard Kingley. Jaded Shard's up 4 at the moment and is producing a bit more as well. And I think another huge advantage for Jaded Shard, that his armory is already done and he's already got 2-2 on the way. So he's going to have a big upgrade advantage soon.
You know, this is another one of these moments where we've seen a player from BornGosu, I think, defend very good early against the very aggressive SCSwarm player, but then just be a little bit sloppy when they push back out on the map. I feel like these SCSwarm players are just so much more decisive. When they push out, like, watch the way Jaded Shard does this, is staring at that army, is following it, is scouting ahead a lot of the time, really watching. Whereas Lizard Kingley has just been in the past, that previous engage was not quite as organized. Now, this time, Lizard Kingley has learnt the lesson and is respecting it.
Yeah, when you see a siege up line in the middle there, one of the best things to do with siege lines is to just avoid them completely. Just go elsewhere. They're trying to catch each other here in the middle of the map. Scans forward, might get a volley off. There we go, on the tank there.
Not bad, not bad. Just posturing for position. Earlier 4th for Lizard, and you can see that's like Lizard's been kind of building up more for the later stages, but Jaded has got the better upgrades, is adding a 4th behind this as well. 2-2 is done, is adding in even a Liberator now, which is a cool little addition. And as this slows down, I feel like whoever starts going into Vikings first may suddenly gain a big advantage. But don't get me wrong, one big stim or earlier siege, this game could end in a moment.
Yeah, 2-2 is also just about to finish for Jaded Shard, and I mean, young Lizard Kingley hasn't even started 2-2.
He's not watching his army. Jaded sees it. Jaded gets the stim. Oh, earlier siege from Lizard, though. Earlier siege from Lizard. Nice cuck matrixes on the tanks. And the Marines get shattered from Jaded. Oh, Lizard there with the earlier siege. The cuck matrixes. Beautiful reactive engagement from Lizard. That was godlike. He had so little time to react, but shuts that army down. Clutch play.
On paper, he had all the disadvantages there, but just the Raven with the cock matrix, as you said it, Pig, pouncing on top of those tanks, getting the earlier siege, big plays there, really clutch engagement for Lizard Kingley, and he's taken the middle of the map away from Jaded Shard, who once again had everything going for him. Oh, these Vikings, though, they're a little bit scary. Comes into a concave of Marines, though. Once again, getting a little too deep, Jaded Shard. Trying hard to find a good engagement, but hasn't found one just yet since the early state of the game.
Yeah, 2-2 versus 1-1 still, remember. And there is more medevacs here for Lizard Kingley.
Oops.
But
he worked on that by just picking off one there.
Equal work accounts. 4th base is up for Lizard. Lizard has more longevity here, but I think at this point, there's like a point when you're on the map as a Terran, and after you've been running around for a certain amount of time, most of your army is actually at home. Like, your army you've been using is actually very small and not frightening. And I think this is that point Lizard's getting to where you need to kind of reconsolidate your production. And we are seeing those upgrades start up at home. 2-2 versus the 3-3.
Oh, no.
Jaded dives through the middle of the map with a drop. YOLO God, Jaded Shard. Just no fear at all. Is like, let's just hope there's no Marines here.
But there is. Looks like they're actually like shift A move there.
Yeah.
Right now, these Marines are killing quite a few SCVs. Kind of gone down.
Oh, the medevacs!
13.
But, good comeback from Lizard Kingley, though. It's a sandwich. It's a sandwich. And, yeah, I mean, 13 SCVs, but not the worst trade because Lizard has that big economy, can just get those workers back to mining, hopefully does rebuild those, and starts to reconsolidate. Right now, both players, neither one really has map control. Sensor towers on both sides, and this could go either way. This game is neck and neck right now.
It truly is. 3-3 being pretty far ahead. I mean, Jaded Shard just continuing to keep that upgrade advantage is pretty sick for Jaded Shard, and is a very, very big deal to be up 2 upgrades in a mirror matchup like this. And we can see that Jaded Shard really wants to win the air battle. Already has produced Liberators and is dropping an extra couple of starports right now. Really wants to own the airs. And if you own the skies, then the Liberators become an extremely huge advantage for you as the Terror in a mirror matchup. We got the 4th base. It's an orbital, little greedy, but one Marine is showing off that Lizard Kingley knows about it.
Yep. 2-2 is almost done, but 3-3 is going to be finishing in about 45 seconds anyway. So Jaded Shard will have that economy, upgrade advantage back very soon. Lizard Kingley finally doing some drops. You know, the one thing that's really been missing from both players is random Liberator harassment. Like, that gets me so excited. If either player were to just start queuing Liberators on bases, it is one of the most annoying things to deal with. But for now, big posturing in the middle of the map. It's equal upgrades. Do not go into the other one's tank line. You got to be real careful. Both players really need to respect each other. Lots of scanning. Just kind of really being afraid of this.
Once again, the orbital showing its weakness here as the Marines get uncontested, kill 6 SCVs of Jaded Shard in the mineral line there.
Ooh.
Jaded Shard can't even deal with it. I don't know if he has enough. Oh, he does have enough units for the Vikings to help out with the medevac.
Yeah, he should be okay now. We'll hang on there, just barely. But loses 8 SCVs in the middle. Lizard Kingley snaps a bunch of Vikings out in the open. Stims forward. Well done by Lizard Kingley. However, +2 is done on the siege tanks of Jaded Shard. And we all know how important that is in TVT. Marines have 55 hit points. After they stim, that's 45. That means they get one-shotted.
Oh no, these tanks!
Oh, big volleys!
No.
Jaded Shard! Put it back in your pants! No! Way too eager there! Way too eager. The vision advantage.
Oh my god, no!
Big siege tank volleys. Jaded Shard in total disarray. Lizard Kingley, I feel like, was behind in a lot of this game, but now is getting some momentum. Oh man, Jaded just gets way too overeager, tries to jump on that army, and gets punished for it. Oh no.
Oh, dude, the 3rd base is actually in trouble of dying here. It's getting so low. No repairs. It gets picked off. Gotta get the medevacs out of here and save whatever he can, but Lizard Kingley in a dominant position here, up 40 army supply.
You wanted to know what asserting your dominance looks like, Maynard? That is what it looks like. Lizard Kingley just gets on top, full mount, and then starts branching off in all different scenarios here. Marines on the north side contain up in the center of the map at the same time. That base is toast.
That base is toast, and so are Jaded Shard's chances in this game as he continues to lose more and more of his infrastructure. These tanks on the high ground pushing back Lizard Kingley for now, but that's just it. It's for now. He's up in that upgrades, but those upgrades are for 27 Marines, whereas Lizard Kingley has 67 at the moment.
Oh my lord. This tank on the high ground, whoops, sorry guys, bad observing, does offer a nice shot there, but doesn't quite cover those Marines. Good isolation there. Jaded Shard's not out. There's a moment where you can lose so much that you've built towards in TVT in a moment, and it's easy to panic and freak out. But, you know, there's always a way back in it. That can go both ways. That sort of engagement that TVT is known for, you know, you can dig for that sort of mistake from your opponent, but it's going to really be digging for it. You've got 10 tanks. That can murder this Marine count, but, whoa, Lizard Kingley sieged up first again. Jaded Shard eats some tank fire. The Marines are going to jump on it. There's just too many Marines. But Lizard does back off, says no. Too much of a choke point. The statue of this Marine actually blocks the Marines of Lizard Kingley from getting through the center of the map, and Jaded Shard still looking for an angle, desperate to try and win the game with this army, but there's no medevacs left. The Marines are bruised. They're deep in the orange and red, desperately trying to get an angle. Lizard Kingley trying to reposition.
And he gets spotted here by, Jaded Shard's move out gets spotted, and Jaded Shard's move out needs to do so much damage. If it doesn't, then this game is super, super over.
Right now, Jaded is able to get a position, but there's tank sieged on both sides. There's no breaking. Lizard Kingley. Oh, no. Ooh. Oh. Lizard Kingly, I really think should just be ignoring this and counter-attacking for now. Like, these Marines and tanks are moving down the center of the map. I like that. Yeah, just leave this army for now. No reason to try and break this. Maybe build a Liberator or something. Has a 5th base up. Lizard Kingly has just been methodically macroing behind this. Methodical monster mode macro. I like alliterating. Marines are going to run in here. Jaded Shards in Trubs. The army's having to come home. They might sandwich this, maybe.
Maybe. The other cool thing that Lizard Kingly can do is siege up, knowing that the army's moving back.
Yep, he's going to do it. The Marines are hot on top of them, but at least one volley gets off. The next tank's going to get more volleys as well. Lizard Kingly. Oh, going to drop on the tanks. Oh!
So sick.
Lizard Kingly picks up and starts carpet bombing the tanks with Marines. That is sick. That's awesome, man. GG's.
Nicely done. Well played. And SCSwarm just continuing to assert their dominance. Bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, sorry, that was BornGosu, my bad. Fighting back.
Yeah, no, that was actually
For
BornGosu.
respect.
Yeah. So
sorry,
it's
sorry. I'm like I got the names mixed up there for a second. Well, rather the teams mixed up.
It's 4-2 now. 4-2, yeah. So even though we know that, of course, you know, the win has already been secured, it's still quite nice there. Quite nice. So GG's. Thank you very much, everyone. Mount Everest and with the $4.20 tip. 420's in a couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite close.
So Clean, thank you so much for the 7-month. Angelic Nutcake with the 3-month. And Miani with the 13-month earlier. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the support. And we are going to be hopping into this next match. And, actually, I'll swap the scoreboard around like that. Here we go. Let's launch into map number 7. This is, I believe, the Masters 2 and 3 match. And then we go into the best of 3? Or is this... Actually, let me take a look here.
I think it is best of 3, isn't it?
Oh, this is the best of 3. This is the last match, of course.
Yep.
Ooh, all right. Up here in the top right, in the teal, it is Sheer Flip.
That's right, representing Swarm, the SCSwarm, and on the far left, in the red, this is Quaterno, representing BornGosu.
Quaterno.
So apparently, these players are often picked for ace. They've had lots of ace match appearances, but this is their first playoff. So good to see them throw down on the biggest stage for CTL.
Awesome. All right. So this is all, of course, about BornGosu saying, let's make this a 4-3 at this point. We know we've lost the match. We've lost the war. Let's win the battle. Not a saying you hear that often, but like, let's go down fighting. You know, this is like
Sometimes you're a Protoss and you've lost the game, but you really want to get that really good disruptor hit off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
yep. Sometimes you know you're there and you've lost as a Terran, but you really want to float that barracks to the corner of the map and go get a snack for the next.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
Go visit your grandma. Yeah.
Oh man. It is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg on a big map here for the first map in this best of 3. And obviously, like, the best of 3 just counts as one map on this scoreboard, guys, but it is a best of 3. So I'm going to swap to the best of 3 scoreboard, in fact. And we'll just reset that to 0-0 so we can look at this best of 3 in isolation. Obviously, that's a bit confusing for some of you all. But let's use this early game to talk about something awesome. It's called Chobo Team League. It's called CTL. And they basically pay me and Maynarde $100,000 each to cast this each season. We wouldn't do it otherwise because we think it's pretty shit. But we just do it for the money and not because it's an awesome thing in the community, which everyone should get behind. And there's a whole ton of team leagues out there. Obviously, me and Maynard just love volunteering our time to cast this each season.
Yep.
Just for the finals. There's a lot of great casters who cast the regular matches. But there's so many amateur leagues and team leagues, and so many people don't know about it. They think, you know, you should only play games competitively if you're a pro gamer. But, I mean, I always give this example every time. And I know for the people who watch CTL every season, they're like, broken record pig. But I think the point needs to be said over and over again. And that is, why would you not play competitively? You know, you don't need to be a god. You don't have to be Messi to run around and play soccer on the weekend. You do it because it's fun. You get in your uniform, you join your team, you go to practice, you play your rugby, your tennis, whatever your sport is. And video games, the exact same thing. In my opinion, they're an even better version of sport that's guess what? You don't need the uniform and you don't need to drive anywhere. You can do it from home, which is awesome. So get involved. Exclamation mark CTL in chat. There's a link to check out how to sign up for the next season. And of course, some people say, well, I don't have a team. How can I find a team? There's a lot of guys in chat. So shout out in chat if you're curious in joining a team. Anyone from any of the teams, not just BornGosu and SCSwarm, but anyone who played CTL, guys, pick up some of the newbies in chat who've never really been part of the community and let them know how they can come and sign up for your team, try out, and hopefully get involved in the next season. You do not need to be available at a specific time each week. You organize the match with your opponent, and usually teams have a thick roster. So if you're like, I can't play for this week and the next week, your team will usually be able to find someone else to replace you. And you basically set up your match at a convenient time, and hopefully you don't get charged by 50 Zerglings and then just die immediately. Good wall off for Quatorno, though. Good wall off.
Yeah, good wall off. No transfusion on the backside Queen, though, and the one from the main also doesn't have a whole lot of juice on her. So it's unfortunate that the one with energy is at the front lines.
Yeah, you got to hold position those queens. Oh, what?
Rotate. Get the high energy one back. Get it back.
Oh,
Hey. All right,
very nice. Good job there by Quatorno. Quatorno did panic a little and build 6 roaches, and that was not the biggest lane commitment. So ideally, Quatorno would have been a greedy Zerg and just kept droning through that and got already the natural fully saturated gases. But nonetheless, still a good worker count, only down a few workers and about to catch up. +1 roach speed already on the way, and impregnable here on the defense. So Quatorno looking very solid and can do a really strong roach speed +1 push. However, third base is up for Sheerflip. Sheerflip's up a couple of workers, is going into +1, a lair as well. So Sheerflip's going to say, look, I'm going to get a bigger economy. I'm going to try and slow down your third as much as possible. And, ooh, you got to get out there to defend that third. Quatorno, Lings are coming in. They want the snipe. Are they going to get it? Roaches, get down there. Oh, it doesn't have a lot of hit points. It's just started building. Oh, gets the cancel.
All right. Well, at least it wasn't a kill. It was very close to being a kill.
Yep. Cancels at the last second.
Just losing a bit of resources there, but it's going to be able to get it back up. And with the roaches in position, it's a lot less of an attractive target here for these Lings. So the thing about when you get to this point, like when the 5-minute plus mark in ZVC, is that it feels like both players have got complete map vision because of their Overlord spreads. But Sheerflip actually only has one Overlord down here, down this side of the map.
Look at this little guy in the main base of Sheerflip. This little Zergling in the corner from Quatorno. Yeah. Every now and then it's poked in and it's just checked into the, oh, you got a lair? And it goes back to the corner and hides. This little guy's a legend. Oh my god.
This is when I would just get a Baneling nest. Just make like the one Baneling.
Yeah. Roll it in there. You make +2 melee at home so that you can one-shot the drones. You like wait for it like 6 minutes. And then you get in there and kill 8 drones with one Baneling. That would be awesome. But yeah, I always love that. Nice. Man, such solid defense here from Quatorno. The giant roach attack's coming in. Oh, Sheerflip kept droning? Sheerflip kept droning there. He's still droning in the midst of this. Sheerflip didn't see this coming. No. Sheerflip's Overlord was out of position. Quatorno just says, get out, mate. Get out. This is way too many roaches and your upgrades aren't done. Mine are. Quatorno does split off to deal with some of the drones, but I mean, is crushing the roach fight and the drones. That's epic.
Yeah, Quatorno is absolutely in charge here, bullying Sheerflip all the way back into his natural. Drone pull here to try and help out with this
bit of a surround.
Horrible situation, but I mean, so many drones have died. Quatorno doesn't have that big of an economy, so it's not a massive lead, but it's going to get bigger here as the roaches haven't been cleaned up just yet. Sheerflip's coming down with those roaches. They don't have speed just yet, so Quatorno can escape and heal up and come back later. And that's kind of what I was talking about in the early stages of this game, is that there's not a whole lot of Overlord coverage on the map here for Sheerflip. Those Overlords are tucked in the back of that natural, whereas Quatorno has all these attack paths covered with his map vision, so it can actually be very, very aggressive here and keep Sheerflip in the dark for the most part.
Yeah, I think Sheerflip's a bit paranoid about Mutalisks in that case. Now, Quatorno going in here and now actually having a roach disadvantage, but with these extra roaches coming in, it's okay here. The upgrades, of course, are equal on both sides, and Sheerflip tried to immediately re-drone, and once again, that's Sheerflip's lack of map vision. I was take my hat off to Sheerflip earlier, because Sheerflip keeps pulling drones, but then disengaging before too many of them die, which is a fantastic way to do it. The problem is you can't re-drone when your opponent's massing roaches on your doorstep, and Sheerflip just has not had the information to make the correct decisions due to the lack of Overlord coverage. So unfortunately for Sheerflip, I think Quatorno now hits the critical mass. GG.
Wow. So we got ourselves a map on the board here for BornGosu, looking to try and get that 4-3 score overall, and they're actually very, very close to it, just one map away from it. So this is pretty sick stuff.
GG.
GG.
Got my GG water bottle. Have you been
Me
drinking
too.
out of that?
I've been drinking out of there during the cast.
I love this
GG
water
bottle.
bottle so much, man. Makes me
too.
so happy.
I had my chat make me conscious about the fact that there was a sticker on the bottom of it, so I took that off. I can see you still have your sticker.
On the bottom? Someone's buzzing me. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Maynard, you can banter with chat for a minute, I guess.
All right. What up, chat? Hope you guys are enjoying the cast so far. We've been enjoying the games. I'm not streaming myself right now. I'm just deciding to be naked with the lights off. Sometimes you got to have a day like that in the week and just be off camera, just chilling, concentrating on the games, hanging out, getting away with nudity, all those things. Very important to be able to do that from time to time, just for sanity, mental health, comfort. My day's going great, Cliggity. Good to see you. Cliggity, of course, a gentleman that I recognize from my chat. Has been a subscriber for a very long time. Give a holistic view about pants. That's really difficult because I'm not a huge pant believer. I don't subscribe to the Church of Pant.
I can get behind that. I just caught the end of it, but not subscribing to the Church Pants. I am totally down with it. As always, shout out to my apartment building for randomly buzzing my apartment when no one's there.
Sweet.
Sometimes it happens at 4 a.m. in the morning, which makes me really happy.
There wasn't a flaming bag of poop on the outside of your door?
No, there was not.
That's a little disappointing.
It's always good fun when that's the case. So anyways, Critono takes game one. It's buzzing. I'm gonna fucking hurt somebody if there's no one there. I know there's no one there. I'm just gonna ignore it. Down here in the bottom right, representing Gosu, it is Quaterno.
That's right. On match point here in this best of three. In the top left, unfortunate lack of map vision leading to a loss, but could fight back. This is SCSwarm's sheer flip.
Let me just swap that around, in fact. The scoreboard. Oh, I'm gonna fucking hurt somebody.
Oh, I can hear that buzz now, too.
Yeah.
They're carrying on, aren't they?
Yeah. Funny thing is, I heard people on the other door as well, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Are you getting like a delivery, or is it like a?
I shouldn't be. I don't know. Every now and then I get deliveries. Anyways, long story short, someone called Quaterno cheesy in that last game in chat. This was like the most stock standard, roach timing while securing a third. And then was like, oh, it's doing damage. I guess I keep committing. Oh, you overdroned and had no map vision, so I killed you. That was tight, straight up play from Quaterno.
Yeah.
And that was just a lack of vision from Sheerflip. So Sheerflip was a little bit too greedy there, was not playing with the vision that you need to. You can see this time Sheerflip sending those overlords across to get some better coverage. And, this has lost people games in gigantic tournaments. I'll never forget the time where, I can't remember if it was like Snoot or someone didn't have their overlord set up correctly. And they couldn't see the back rocks out of someone's base on King Sejong. And it was like Jadong or Impact or someone. Just like massed +1 melee Zerglings, made it look like they were going roaches, broke down the rocks, which took like 3 minutes. So it was the slowest +1 melee Zergling, shittiest all-in possible if you see it coming at all. But it just relied on the opponent not having an overlord in position when you should always be watching the back door on King Sejong Station. And it ended up being like a $5,000 mistake for the Zerg that lost. I can't remember who it was, but I will never forget that story because Overlord coverage in ZVZ is like one of those things that wins and loses so many games. We've all experienced it where you're like, what? Where did these 40 Zerglings come from? What? And
also, like, if you the only reason I feel that you'd be not having your overlords out in the map is when you're afraid of Mulisks. But
yeah.
In the how many percentage of the games end up having those? You could actually still have those overlords out, and even if there are Mulisks, I think losing a couple is worth it.
Yeah, it's so much later in the game. Like Mutas is like minutes down the track. You put 3 or 4 overlords on the map, you can get most of them home in time. You'll be completely fine. These Lings doing a good job here. Quaterno dictating the pace of this game, wants to close out this best of 3 to, of course, make this a very tight series. Wants to bring it to a 4-3 end scoreline, even though we know SCSwarm are the champs. Quaterno being nice and annoying here, and it looks like really enjoys this kind of wall-off style. And of course, the response of the same style from Sheerflip. This is kind of the meta at the moment, but you can see that Sheerflip droning just a little bit slower here, not quite as smooth with the opening, maybe a little bit more worried. Meanwhile, Quaterno is just like, I have 2 queens, no spine crawler, I haven't fully walled off. I am just relying on the scouting that Zergling provided. And you know what? That Zergling saw no link speed. Quitono knew that Quitono was safe, and Quitono's like, cool, awesome. Drone straight to 37, hold down the Roach key. I am ahead in this opening. So that's an awesome start for the red BornGosu player here.
Yeah. Really sort of dictating what happens in this game. We are seeing a very similar opening for both players to +1 Roach speed. The lair was started at the exact same time for both players, maybe off by a second in either direction. We have got a third base attempt here from Quitono. Sheer flip, no signs of a third just yet. Just moving that queen out there to try and get that overlord of Quitono. And that would be a nice pick-off.
Overlord scouting here for Quitono. Seeing queens pushing out the front and seeing a slightly undersaturated natural, but only a very advanced player would pick up that scouting tell. This is an all-in from sheer flip. Just 32 drones. 3 queens are going to push across the map. They're going to join transfusers with this push. I'm surprised. Yeah, we're going to see poop. Okay, guys, poop highway, let's go. Here we go. We've got poop there, poop coming out here as well. Yeah, and that, of course, oh yeah.
Cancel the third, get some spine crawlers up.
Oh yeah, you've just got to hold on. Cancel overlord speed, build more roaches. Quitono kept droning here, went up to 43 drones, way too greedy, and is losing overlords and getting supply blocked. Oh no, he's completely supply blocked. Has cancelled the third, but the spines are only now starting. I think Quitono took a little bit too long to realize this was happening. An Evo block would have been awesome. Is it going to pull the drones? And I mean, you need to do that. You've got to hold on here. Trying to hold on to the choke point is Quitono. Quitono's still got the upgrade advantage. Oh no, upgrade's not done. Upgrade's not done for Quitono. It's just finishing up now. Drones have to be pulled to the front line. If Quitono can buy time for the spines, Quitono can hold on. Is still up 4 workers right now. That queen at the front though, nice micro on that queen. She pulls back. She's got a transfuse ready. The queens are both still alive. The spines are finished. Sheer flip has to back off.
Cancels one.
Oh, actually. Too greedy.
No, the queen's getting a little deep there. They had energy there as well. Oh,
cancels the spine. And that. Oh, no. Both queens dead. No injects. It's still up 5 workers. Quitono's not out of this yet. Roach speed and +1 done for both players. Overlord speed is there for the longer game, but Sheer Flip drops the third behind it and does start to drone finally. Sheer Flip, though, has committed a ton to this. I wouldn't be surprised if Sheer Flip does continue to try to break it. Quitono dancing back and forwards dangerously. I think whoever starts +2 here ends up getting a lead a bit from now, and at the exact same second, they both queued up +2. That's awesome. Nice queen snipe, not bad.
Yeah, picking off those queens, always nice. I like the spine crawler repositioning as well. Covers the ramp a bit better.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a little. I'm liking where Sheer Flip's at. I like that he got the third. That he's also droning up as well, trying to get a bit more of a lead. He wasn't really in the lead until just now. But the Ravages though for Quitono could be really nice here.
Even spreading creep outside your opponent's. I feel like that's like the BM creep tumor right there. You see it as Quitono, and you're like, oh, you dick.
Down.
Oh, a couple biles do land. The creep tumor survives. Nidus Worm. 10 more drones on the way for Quitono, though. Quitono is getting split, getting a little bit confused there. I mean, Nidus Worm's good, but what are we building 10 more drones for? There's nowhere to mine for. Is he going to Nidus to an expansion? I feel like you need to be massing roaches right now as Quitono. You're way down on army supply, and that's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on. Quitono's going to... way too ambitious there. I love that spine on the high ground. It's nice, but yeah, I think Quitono just feels so trapped right now. And these creep tumors just giving vision for Sheer Flip. That's awesome. Nidus Worm's going to go up in the main. I just don't know if Quitono has the army supply to really take advantage of this. It's actually quite supply blocked right now. And I love the thinking of the Nidus Worm. I just don't know if there's enough of a commitment to it. Spines at home is a great idea. There's Nidus roaches into the main base. Oh, Sheer Flip just turns around and tries to go home. Okay, this could work out for Quitono. It's got to try and take out the queen and as many drones as possible right now, right here. It's going to start to try and focus them down, but no, doesn't keep focusing. And they change their attacks to the roaches. So they're only going to kill a queen and a roach. Meanwhile, back at home, does break down and start clearing out the creep tumors. But not really achieving that much. Just buying a little bit of space for himself has Quitono. Still down 40 army supply. And that is so scary.
It certainly is. Quitono going for a Nidus in the natural, which looks like Sheer Flip may not have noticed. As isn't gunning it down. The worm doesn't have anything in it, so it's like a distraction ploy, I guess. So it looks like Quitono's real target is the third base.
Army running in on the ground. This is such a small army. But Quitono, I don't think really respecting just how tiny the army is. Quitono hasn't built an overlord for a long time, or hasn't really been massing out the roaches, and I mean, definitely Sheer Flip's panicking a little bit, but I think the numbers are just so far in Sheer Flip's favor. At any point, if Sheer Flip forces a big roach versus roach battle, Unless the Roaches of Sheer Flip all start having orbital bombardment as a special ability, like, there's no way you hold on with these numbers.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to get a lot more Roaches out. 12 Roaches are on the way, but that already counts as the army supply that's out on the map right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is really, really rough.
Look at this
Keep using
defense.
the Nidus Worms, but yeah, I mean,
So
Sheer
on
Flip
top
sees
of
this
it.
one. This Nidus Worm's not happening. And he's going for the big attack. This is the end game move here from Sheer Flip, looking to tie up the score.
Yeah, you don't need to break the spines on the natural. You can just take out the third base and all the drones out here in the open. These Nidus Worms trying to go up, Quaterno trying to dig deep and find something. But that Roach disadvantage is just too much. And I mean, yeah, Shiflip's like, hey, your army's all in the Nidus Worm. Quaterno did not think he was going to push in there. Tries to pop out at the last second, but all the spines have already gone down. Decisive move from Sheerflip. Actually pulls out. I think he could have just won the game right there. But
Yeah,
playing
I
it
agree.
safe, knows there's Nidus Worms on the back and says, okay, I'll just back off for now. I'm 3 base versus 2. Clearing up the Niduses in the main at the same time. And, just going to keep picking off these units in the open ground. Meanwhile, Quaterno going to commit to that third base. Roaches dive in there. They do find the opening. Does Sheerflip just headbutt? I'd do it. Go for it. Break him. Sheerflip. Oh, Biles,
Yeah,
Biles,
rolling him up in
Biles. One Bile
Biles are
lands.
connecting on the backline Roaches, but it looks like he still has so many more on Quaterno. So that natural is broken for sure. And Quaterno is doing a lot of damage at the third base, but I'd say not enough to win him this game.
Nah, Sheerflip just so far ahead in the army supply. Ever since that 32 drone Queen Roach timing, that was a real SCSwarm build there. Just a tight, decisive timing attack. Smallest map in the pool. That's one of the most common builds we see your Lambos, your Serals, your Raynors pulling out on this map over and over again. And I feel like SCSwarm, they're always so studied up on those builds. They say, ooh, you just make a really fast Roach speed +1, make a bunch of Queens, get some transfuse, make a poo highway, commit hard. Like, that is the sort of build these SCSwarm players are experts at. So ties the series up 1-1. BornGosu still fighting to make this a close scoreline, an honorable 4-3, as opposed to the decisive, 2-5, which they don't want to go down to that scoreline.
It'd be an honorable scoreline to get the 4-3. I mean, BornGosu has been fighting very, very hard. It's hard to look good in StarCraft when you die to like an all-in of some kind. Like you don't get to show off what you wanted to do. You didn't get to play your game plan because the guy that is going for the all-in or is going for the weird strat is dictating how the game's going to go. And you're like, oh, well, gotta adjust.
Exactly. And speaking of adjusting and adapting, up here in the top right-hand side in the red, I thought he was going for an early pull, but then said, no, actually, let's just go Overlord drone. So a slightly weird opening. Representing BornGosu, it is Quaterno.
And in the bottom ref, with a great game too, who is going for the early pull, it is Sheerflip.
The gasless variety here, so it's going to be the 12 pull into expand. Big fan of it. I wonder if he goes for the Lambo Feral Special, as I call it, the one where you basically just take a hatchery, but it's a fake, and you actually take a gas, like, as your pull finishes, go for a delayed Ling speed, and you follow up with, like, a Ling Flood and next to no workers. Just because it's an SCSwarm clan tag, I'm wondering if Sheerflip's going to do something like that. But it looks like a pretty normal build for now. It probably just goes for the hatch. Yeah, gets the queen out. Okay, fair enough. Cool. Queen or hatch, whichever one comes first, doesn't really make much of a difference. With the queen, you can also potentially snipe this first overlord of Quaterno. But Quaterno, look at that preparation. If you click on the first overlord, it goes to the natural and then is queued to run back to safety. So even if Quaterno is preoccupied with defending a 12 pool, the Overlord will naturally run to safety. So that's actually really good preparation from Quaterno, knowing that this situation can get very micro-intensive if your opponent early pulls. So Lings are spotted. Now, does Quaterno play the gasless response, pull all the drones down, fight for the natural? Or do we see a cancel on that? Against this option, you want to defend that natural. If you lose it, you're almost always behind.
Yeah, Quaterno, I mean, the Lings did go past under his first Overlord there, so he is starting to react. Natural is up, and he's going to have to pull drones to be able to defend this, and he does. Pulls a lot of drones to defend this, waiting for that Lings, the Lings to come out.
You don't want to underestimate it. With this many drones, you can actually fight the first 8 Zerglings. Once these next 2 come, that's 10 Zerglings, and Quaterno's really got to save the hit points on that hatchery. The Lings do get a bit separated. Quaterno, ooh, taking too much damage there, though. 2 Zerglings get surrounded as well. This is a really good start to this fight for Sheerflip. Sheerflip's getting the damage, gets a worker kill. Nice concave on the drones there, but not many Zerglings to support. And another 2 Zerglings get surrounded. Quaterno's struggling, is abandoning the hatch now. And oh no, that's a disaster.
Is devastating. Yeah,
the queen isn't even going to get out. Oh no. That's really, really bad. Behind it, the expansion's up. Sheerflip's still got these workers out, which can continue to deny this expansion. You can't even retake your base as Quaterno. I was talking about how, you want to defend the hatch, you want to keep it alive, but just took way too much damage on those drones in that first moment of panic where kind of went into a concave of Zerglings. You've got to be very wary of the kind of lineup. And if you ever go into an arc of Zerglings and your drones kind of headbutt into it, you take so much damage in just a matter of like 2 seconds. And from there, you can't really fight unless you keep every Zergling alive. And losing about 4 or 6 Zerglings getting surrounded, it just puts you so far behind in that battle. And then suddenly you say, well, I was up 6 drones, 7 drones this whole early game. No longer. Now you're down 7 workers, 1 base versus 2, trying to go 1 base Roach. Quaterno is in desperation town right now. And Sheerflip just has all the momentum, all the options. Going to go into the double gas, the Evo chamber, and just going to go into a big, solid Roach macro game off a gigantic lead.
Yeah, indeed. So you really just think that Sheerflip, or rather the Quaterno, had what he needed to hold there, but it was just an execution issue?
Yeah, I mean, it's always so dicey on both sides. Like, there's times where the Lings get surrounded and they just get wrecked and they do nothing, but that was the opposite. It was where the drones took a bit too much damage, so they tried to disengage right as the Zerglings popped, and that meant the Zerglings got isolated as well. So 2 things went wrong for Sheerflip in for Quaterno in quick succession. Sheerflip microed very well and capitalized on it. And it's always a micro battle when you open like this. And it puts the pressure on the defensive player to play very well and not screw up. Quaterno, just the slightest of mistakes being punished very, very hard. I've been there many times. If I don't play against a 12 pool for a few weeks, I do exactly what Quaterno did there. And I go, God damn it. Need a bit more practice against that because it's such a fine margin for error.
Yeah. All right, well, we got Quaterno looking for any kind of opening. Is up 10 odd army supply. A lot of it is in those roaches, which aren't quite hatched just yet. Speed about to finish also for Quaterno.
Looks like an all-in.
Yeah, does look like it from Quaterno, doesn't it? Very low drone count, still making units. And Sheerflip's just like, oh, I got 40-odd workers. Roach timing attacks, right? They're pretty good. Looks like the lair not quite lined up for that roach speed, but it is on the way.
Yeah, still nonetheless looking very clean there for Sheerflip, and it's going to be just lean on that Roach advantage. I mean, we've seen Roaches come out for Quaterno, Ling speed be invested in, but Quaterno doesn't have the economy, and is kind of just in that space where you really need to commit very hard in one direction, but all I see from Quaterno is just going back to the standard game plan, and when you're behind, you need to put everything into being really greedy and then go mutas. You need to, like, gamble on something. You can't just build safety roaches, build an Evo chamber, make a lair, slowly drone. You're already so far behind that there needs to be a risk in there, but it would have needed to be some epic gambling. Like, I would have really wanted to throw True into Quaterno's shoes. Like, someone who's like a great gambler, good with on-the-fly decision-making, because it's one of those positions where it's like, well, you're taking such a bad spot. Even with some great gambling, you may be giving yourself a 20% chance to win, right? And that relies on a series of things kind of going correctly for you. So definitely some really nice play from Sheerflip to get ahead. And I can't say I agree with how Quaterno's playing it from behind, but even the good decisions here aren't great decisions. So it's like, I'm being critical, but I at the same time, I think even if you play it perfectly, it's such a hard spot. So Quaterno, it's a tough position to be in. I'm like, you could technically raise your really bad win percentage a little bit, but you'd probably still lose.
Yeah, it is so tough. There is actually just no advantage at the moment for Quaterno, as much as it is a shame to say. Sheerflip's got +2 attack, like around when Quaterno started +1 attack. There are a ton of roaches coming out for Sheerflip, and I think that when they're hatching, they're going to be A-clicked into the natural of Quaterno, and I actually see it working.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we need any micro, though Sheerflip's been on point with it, so might even do a bunch of stutter steps, a bunch of micros. He's actually continuing to drone up here, but roach speed's done. Let's go, buddy. Sheerflip says, let's go! And these Lings from Quaterno trying to find an opening, trying to go into Hydras. So I think Lurkers is what Quaterno is kind of tunneled in on as the comeback card, but That's pretty far away, and Sheerflip's all over this. Just a matter of when Sheerflip chooses to lean on the triple army supply advantage and the upgrade advantage. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this has been a great day of CTL so far as we look at the final stage of this. It's just been awesome. Big shout out to all the people who didn't make it to the finals. There's so many clans that played. Everyone that made it through to the final stages of the semis, the quarters. Everyone who didn't make it but got on and played some fun games anyway. Shout out to all the goldies who got promoted and couldn't play in the gold div anymore. The plats who got promoted and had to go up to the diamond. And everyone who showed up every week and just played some fun games, smashed some strategies, got their team environment going. Katono's going to go for a nice counterattack, and this is like the best possible scenario. And you can see Sheerflip's kind of like, go home and defend, when, I mean, I would probably have just counterattacked and tried to win the game on the other side of the map. But you see Katono digging deep and saying, I know I can't fight you front on. Let's avoid your army, split into your mineral lines, see if I can do some damage. This is exactly the sort of stuff you've got to do from behind, is avoid the army, avoid their advantage, focus on their weakness. You know, if they leave their economy undefended, prioritize that. Unfortunately, the numbers are a little bit too strong here for Sheerflip.
Yeah, more than double the army supply. Just the solid A move does end this game. There is a lurker den on the way for Quitono, maybe, so there's like a situation where he gets just a bunch of lurkers that Sheerflip overcommits into. But even if the lurkers do erase the entire army of Sheerflip, Sheerflip is up more than 20 drones, has had a third base for 1,000 years. Quitono is on 2 bases and does not have a third hidden anywhere. So I feel like this is a trade that Sheerflip can make and also make a game.
I mean, it's crazy that Lurkers almost got out here. Quitono really is, as someone in chat says, making the best of a terrible situation. I could not have said it better myself. Like, I was critical of the early response, but in the follow-up, like pulling that whole Roach army and buying time, making 5 Lurkers in the main. Unfortunately, Sheerflip's going to spot that and go, no, stop it. And Quitono's going, come on, man. Come on.
It was bad, man. But hey, great games there. Great series from Sheerflip and Quitono. And while the BornGosu player doesn't make it a 4-3 score overall in the end, he did have a great game 1 and a great battle in game 2 and 3. It's unfortunate for Quitono that Sheerflip just had the strategies that worked out and the execution as well. So really, really nicely done. And congratulations once again to SCSwarm for their big W for Season 21 CTL.
Hells yeah, that was just super sick to see everyone just doing as well as they did. Thank you everybody for tuning into this broadcast. Make sure you sign up for next week. Chobo Team League, give it a Google, check out all the clans. One more shout out for all you people to put some links in chat to your Discord servers, your communities. Just be like, hey, we're the, Guns and Roaches. We're, you can join us here. We're Formless Bear Sloths. We're, we're BG. We're SCSwarm. I know there's a lot of people in chat who will be kind of interested in joining your communities, even if they don't want to really get into CTL just yet. But hang out with some people that are cool and play some video games. So please, everyone, share your stuff in chat. Join some communities. If you guys want to join my Discord, you can always start asking around in there. And there's a lot of people from all these clans hanging out in my Discord as well. So you can kind of talk to people in there and find your way around the community. !Discord for that one as well. So thank you so much for hanging out, guys. We appreciate you joining us. Much love. Don't forget to go and follow twitch.tv/Maynarde with an E on the end.
That's right, with an E on the end. Yeah. The other guy retired back in early 2000s.
Any last words here?
That's basically it. Thank you very much for having me on, man. It's been like the 3rd or 4th CTL final cast in a row. Really enjoy this tournament. Really enjoy being a part of it. I hope you guys enjoy the casts. If you want to see my own streams, just like Pig mentioned, I'm on Twitch TV Maynard. Click on my name in the chat, click follow. And if you really like my stuff, then after you click follow, click the other purple button, click subscribe. Chuck your Prime over there, chuck your Tier 1. It's the best way to support the channel and myself. And that's about it. I'll be streaming later tomorrow. That's another thing.
A lot of people keep asking about that, so I was going to ask you, because you said you're working on some YouTube, some content, putting in your hours today off stream.
Right. Putting in my hours off stream to finish off a video that I've been working on for weeks. I haven't been able to find the time and the energy outside of streaming to be able to work on this video. Going to set aside the time today to do it. But we'll be doing my regular ladder streams tomorrow, and probably if I don't finish the video today, I'll finish it on the weekend. That's the plan here at the moment.
Hells yeah.
It's gonna, for all you guys out there that that want to know what it is. If you are curious, it's about how to get into StarCraft 2. So all of us here are very, very likely not going to benefit from it. It's more for people that don't think StarCraft 2 is accessible and think that it's too scary or too convoluted to follow as an esport. And it's one of those, no, it's actually not that bad. Let me, just break it down and show you what's what. So it'll be benefit, hopefully, new people trying to get into the game.
Awesome. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all in the next season finals. And of course, if you're curious for more CTL content, there's about 1 billion community streamers who will actually stream some of these matches themselves throughout the season, all the regular season matches. So big shout out and love to all of those. If any of you are around people who cast the regular season, please link your streams in chat so people can give you all a follow. I want you all to shamelessly self-promote, please, right now. Do it. Or if you guys have a favorite streamer or someone who follows a lot of your clan matches and casts them, link your friends up in chat so we can all kind of just link each other up, network a little bit. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. And that is